Therapy show.
Yeah, I like what you said. You get
Now,
through these
are we going to be
things.
getting noise from out there?
Ah, shit.
It's been pretty quiet out there. I'm watching TV. Ah, shit, what?
It didn't go. I didn't hit it hard enough.
Oh,
I don't know where it went.
poor little
But
thing.
I see a dart.
Poor little thing, my ass.
Really? Give me a dick?
Yep. I was born that way.
You lucky I didn't
My
burn
daddy
you.
did it right. He put the stem on the apple.
You lucky I didn't just turn the cigarette like this and said,
Yeah, you wouldn't have done that, see.
"How
You're
you
not mean, but I
How
am.
How you know I'm not mean like that?
Because you couldn't leave.
How well do you think?
Because you couldn't leave Gina after 20 years when you knew about probably 10 years in that it wasn't going to last much longer. Or shouldn't have lasted as long as it did. Well, think about it. You're too nice for your own good. And that'll get you nowhere in life.
So you're telling me that I should tell you to fuck off when you want me to help you with shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's just, you know, it's a bad thing.
No, that's fine.
You know, we both have that same problem. We end up being too nice for our own good, and you know what happens? We get burned.
You get stepped on?
Yeah,
Use
same
the
fucking
stepping
difference.
stools?
Same fucking difference. See, that's why we get along so good. We've been there and done that. Maybe not in the
Sure.
same scenarios, but you know, you get to be too nice to your own good. You found a wallet full of money. The only thing that's in there is the library card. What do you do with it? With the guy's name on it? You try to find the guy.
What
or
library
just-
was it
or-
from?
It doesn't matter. A
Just
library in
a
your
library.
neighborhood that you can look up and easily find the guy's address or something. You know, and with the internet technology today, it's easy to find that information out. What do you do?
And
Do
you're
you keep-
asking.
do
You're
you
asking
keep,
me that?
would you keep the wallet and spend the money and keep the money and throw away the wallet and the library card, or would you try to track the guy down and give the money back to him?
Is he rich?
Doesn't matter. Let's just say there's a couple $1,000s in there or more. You don't
Thing
know.
is, the guy
You
rich?
won't know. You have no idea. Because all that's in there is a library card with a name on it.
Well, I can give you a scenario.
I'm giving you
actually-
a one.
No,
This actually
I can
happened.
I can give you an actual one that happened to me.
This one happened to Mike, and I was with him the whole time.
This one happened to me.
Well, you didn't answer my fucking question, so stop changing the subject and answer the fucking question.
Okay, this ain't Braveheart, so suck my nuts.
Well, then answer the fucking question. What do you do? Close that door.
I just said that.
What do you do? Do you take the money and give it back and try to track down the owner? Or do you keep it to yourself and throw away the wallet and the library card?
If it's me, I'm gonna try to track the guy down.
Exactly.
You know that.
You're too nice for your
Why
own
aren't
good.
you fucking even asking?
Because 90% of the people nowadays, because of the greedy son of a bitches, and
They'll
some
take
people
the
are
money and throw
nowadays
away
are
the
gonna take
wallet.
the money and throw away the wallet. Now here's why.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What if
Now
that's
you
the
want-
guy's paycheck that he just
Right,
went
but-
cashed and
I
he was
know.
gonna be paying bills?
I
But
know.
here's at the same
But
time.
most people aren't that honest.
Now this is also the reason.
Most
This
people
is
don't
one of the
care, they're
reasons I
nasty.
believe shit like this has gone to this extent where people are going to keep the wallet, keep the money, and throw away the wallet. If you ask that question, all right. Here's the reason. Mike, my stepfather, had that happen to him. Found a wallet. There was a good $2,000-3,000 in there cash. All that was in there was a library card from the Madison Public Library System. He went through the phone book, called, found the guy, took time off not time off, but took time out of his day, because Mike was a busy person even when he wasn't working. Okay. Took the time out of his busy day and took it all the way out to this guy, because I rode along with him because he was teaching me how to drive, so I got to drive part of the way there and most of the way back. And he sits there. I thought you had this thing going up there or something.
Not the webcam.
Hello, we're live and welcome
live,
to
and he was
Huddly
in the-
Insane, and
He
he's
was in the
going nuts
middle. He was
already.
in the
and
middle of a story.
I was in the middle of a story because we'll go backtrack a little bit. We're having a discussion about honest people and being too nice for your own
Look, a
good.
topic.
And I asked him, I said, look,
There you go.
What would you do if you found a wallet and all that was in it was a library card with a guy's name on it and about $3,000-4,000 cash? Would you try to track down the person, take it back, or would you keep the money and throw away the wallet and the library card? Mark answered. He would.
Well,
try to
the
track
way
the
I
dude
am,
down.
I try to track the guy down.
Right. All right. Now, but
Because that might have been his paycheck, and he might have been using that to pay his bills.
a lot of people would disagree with you nowadays, I believe, because the way things have gone over the years, because this happened quite a while ago. My stepfather had this happen. We go out there, we take the wallet with the library card, all the money. Mike was too much of an honest dude to even pocket any of the money. The guy stands there, answers the door, counts the money right in front of Mike, and then he just shuts the door on him. He doesn't even say thank you or offer him a reward. He counted the money like he wanted to make sure it was all there. And the guy lived in a very ritzy neighborhood because he lived over there. He lived over there in that the Seminole Forest neighborhood, in one of those great big huge houses back there.
One of the questions I'd be asking is, what the fuck is he doing with just a library card?
And now after
all
that,
cash?
Mike says I should have just kept the fucking money.
That's only because Mike felt. Mike felt burned.
He didn't want a reward. He wanted at least a thank you from the guy for being honest. He wanted
for
some
being honest and taking
gratitude.
the time to find, taking the time
and
to
to
find
find and
the guy.
return it to him. Because like you said earlier, it could have been somebody's paycheck to pay their bills and their rent and their mortgage or whatever. Yeah. You know, but in this guy's case, I think it was just pocket change.
Well, see, here's the problem with that kind of shit. Okay, guys like that
are the ones that are making people
they don't
greedy and dishonest.
Well, no, guys like that, they don't need the money. They
yeah,
don't
but a
care.
simple thank you would have went a long way.
But they don't care.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's
people
the
are
big
getting to the
point.
point where they don't care anymore, and it's ruining this world. That's another part of our hate problem.
Well, our hate problem started.
I know, we're not going to go there, but I'm just saying, it's just another part of it.
Our hate problem started about 19 months ago.
No, it started a long time before that. It was just.
Well, our major hate problem started about 19
Yeah, it got worse.
It was more enhanced.
It got taken to extremes. But anyway, so we're flying by our seat of our pants, and it's his fault.
And Joe is in rare form today.
It's always my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So-
you couldn't come up with a topic.
Whatever.
I was too preoccupied to come up with ideas.
And why were you preoccupied?
You know why I was preoccupied.
Well, your audience doesn't.
You're not preoccupied.
I'm preoccupied. You'd be preoccupied too if you had to go in and have them mess with your heart at the hospital.
I told you, you have to have a heart in order to have it
Yeah,
messed
I
with.
know, that's true too. I haven't had a heart in years. I've always been told I was a cold-hearted bastard.
So is that a heart or a heart
I mean,
on?
I agree with people. I am a bastard. My dad, and we can go there either.
Is that supposed to be a heart or a heart on?
A heart. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with my heart on. Ask my wife. I just did her this morning.
Oh, that's right. She uses the pump.
And she screamed, pump my ass. I don't even have to use the little blue pills that I hear you're using all the time.
Yellow.
I don't have to pop a pill to pop a Woody.
Yellow. You hear that, Woody? He doesn't have to have a pill to pop you.
You know, he'd like that. Woody would have got a kick out of that one too, but
We have two watchers.
That's,
you know, I don't have to be like you.
That's because I'm on there.
I don't have to pop a.
You're on there, and Cindy Laird is on there.
I don't have to pop a pill to pop a
And she
Woody.
just said, OMG!
I did her this morning. We had a good time.
Well,
We're trying very quiet not to wake everybody else up. so-
OMG, it's going to get worse. Just wait.
Okay, anyway,
Tune in.
that still doesn't tell your audience why you're preoccupied.
Because I'm going in for a heart procedure on Tuesday, and it scares me. So I don't know what's going to happen for sure.
One of the few things in the world that will scare you.
Yeah. Especially when you face death a few times like I have. I had a good day though, that's why I'm in rare form. So I had a surprise visitor.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a good one.
A long overdue surprise visitor.
Oh, speaking of surprise visitors, somebody snuck in here. Hi, Joy. Hi, puppy.
It's the joyous of occasions.
What you got?
I don't know
Joy's
about
the
her.
busybody. She's got to see and no one.
She brought you a
Bunch
dead
of
mouse.
fuzz. No, it was fuzz.
Dead mouse, huh?
No, I think it was
After you get
fuzz.
done with it.
Fuzz from her shedding.
Fez?
Fuzz. Fuzz. Fuzz.
Fez.
Fuzz, you
Fez.
fucker.
Fez. 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 Fez.
That's a hat, you know. That's a type of hat, you know.
No, he's that little Mexican character from the
But,
70s show.
but I had a good visit.
He's your favorite character. You try to model yourself after him, from what I hear.
No. 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 I don't model myself after nobody but myself.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm going around, see, you know, I told
So
you.
you don't model yourself after Leo?
No, that would be funny, though. I haven't found the glasses yet to make that work. And I'd have to dye my beard.
Dog, you need to quit getting in our wire.
Because Leo was never gray.
I can see you in the camera. Oh, listen, a movie playing in the background.
But I had my son Nick stop by and visit me, and I haven't seen him in a couple of years because he's got
you
a
gotta
busy
close it so
life.
she can't open it.
He's a very busy kid, and I'm proud of him. But it was great to see him for the couple hours that he was here.
Cindy,
Couple, 2, 3
Cindy
hours.
made another comment. She goes, "Love you, fuckers."
Oh, thanks, Cindy.
Really? Awesome. Fuckers.
Hope you're doing. I hope you're doing all right out there in Jersey.
Well, anyway, here's the. I was going to tell you my story that I had.
You have a story?
Well, you were talking about Mike finding that wallet
Yeah.
and having that cash in it. Well, I was coming.
Am I supposed to believe this, or is this just something you made up?
You know, I could always give her a call and see if she'll answer, and she can confirm it.
Oh, that'd be cool. We could have our first phone call
Anyway.
on the show.
No, I was coming home from Waste Management when I worked there, and for some reason I decided to.
She's interrupting you again.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but we got another
Yeah, you do.
comment.
Yeah, you do.
Cindy replied to you. She goes, "I fucking hate Jersey. I want to be a Wisconsin cheesehead again."
Well,
Yeah.
there's always this thing called moving vans.
She lives in Jersey, but when you see pictures on her Facebook page, she still wears Green Bay Packer jerseys and sweatshirts and T-shirts and.
Nothing wrong with that.
She's a,
There's Packer
oh no,
fans
she's a
all over the
diehard.
country.
Oh,
So
she's
she's a Jersey Packer fan.
no, she's a diehard Packer fan. Even though she moved,
There's
she's
this thing
still
called
stayed a
there's this
Packer
thing called
fan.
moving vans. Okay.
Oh, I mean,
And
yeah,
trucks.
I could literally
You
see
can always-
that happening. Plus, her dad's here
You
if
always
he's
get
still
them
alive.
and move your ass back here. It's not.
Her dad's
no big
probably
deal.
still
Yeah,
living
because then she
somewhere
can
in
come and be on the
Madison.
show.
Yeah, there you go. But
She
no.
come and visit and be on
Anyway,
the show.
back to
Back to your
back to my story.
Yeah,
Since
back to
someone
your story
decided
about
they
money.
were there.
Finding
Anyway,
money.
so I worked at Waste Management. I
Oh,
used to get off around.
I worked there too once.
I used to get off around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I lived over on Silver Road. That was when I lived.
Yeah,
on
you
Silver
lived there
Road.
for quite a while.
Lived there for about 10 years. So for some reason, I decided I wanted to get off at Southtown Drive.
No, we don't want to know where you got money to get off at.
So I'm getting off of the highway and I'm pulling up to the stop light there, and I see in the road. It looked from a distance.
On
It looked
Broadway?
like
Or were you on
I
the
was on the ramp
on the ramp?
coming up to the stop, and I could see it. And to me, it looked like some sort of pocketbook, like a purse or a woman's.
Kind of like what she
pocketbook.
carries around, probably.
So closer I got, the more it looked that way. So I'm like, okay. So I adjusted myself to where all I had to do is open the door and reach down and grab it.
Yeah.
Well, I got there, opened up the door, reached down and grabbed it, put it in the seat, and then I went over to Shopko or something to the drive, to the
South
parking
over
lot.
in Southtown.
So I
parking
could
lot.
see what it was, and I opened it up, and it's a fucking checkbook.
Yeah.
Dude lives over off of somewhere in the middle part of Madison there. Well, actually, the address that was on it wasn't even his address at the time, and the phone number was a complete different phone number.
Well, yeah, because people.
So
do
I
that.
tried calling it and everything, and we looked it up. Finally tracked the guy down, got a hold of him, and I explained to him that I found his checkbook, and I found it over by Southtown, and I gave him my address where I lived and everything, and he came to pick it up and actually kind of questioned me how I got it. And I told him, I said, look, I was coming home from Waste Management. It was in the road at the top of the ramp there. I reached down, grabbed it, and then I found out who it was and tracked you down. And he was trying to think of how he wound up losing it there. And what he had done is he had stopped and purchased a bike for his kid and wrote a check for it.
And put the checkbook
And then
on
as
top
he
of
was
the road.
putting the bike in the trunk, he had the checkbook sitting on the bumper.
And drove away
Totally
with it.
forgot about it.
Drove away with it and fell off his car at some
So it stayed there. It somehow stayed there long enough to make it to
There's your sign.
to there.
So where he stops.
And so, anyway, so he's like, okay, you know, figured it out and everything. And I gave him his checkbook, and I told him, I said, you know, I understand how this is because, you know, not everybody's gonna be honest.
Yeah, you don't. You
So-
have a very dishonest looking face too.
And suck
so.
my nuts. So anyway,
She got.
He
She put
takes-
her hand up against something going on.
I'm waiting.
he takes the checkbook, and he thanks me, and he reaches out to shake my hand, and I go to shake his hand, and he had cash in his hand to give it to me, and I told him, no, I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to take this. You know, I didn't call
Okay,
you
so-
or turn this into you or give it back to you in order to get a reward. I know how it is for people with that are just making it type of thing.
Yeah, but did you just
And-
get? Did you at least get a thank you?
Yes.
Well, see, there
Yeah,
you
he
go.
thanked me.
See, that's all.
He thanked me for it.
You know,
But here's
well,
here's the
that-
kicker
that's
though.
the good
No.
part.
But here's the kicker on this, okay? He thanked me. He wound up leaving. About 2 weeks later, I get a fucking card in the mail. Another thank you. Only inside the card's a $50 fucking movie pass card.
Oh wow.
I'm like, are
That's
you
nice.
fucking serious? You know,
That's
I
cool.
didn't want him to give me any kind of reward for
maybe-
doing
Well, he
something that I.
he felt it necessary.
Maybe-
So
and because
Yeah.
you wouldn't accept cash,
Especially
he
a
did it the
checkbook.
way he figured you would take it.
Especially a checkbook.
He,
That's a
probably,
valuable thing.
he also probably worked there, so he might have got a discount.
I don't
You never
know.
See,
I don't
that's
know.
just
So
the
I
thing, you
wound
don't know.
So wound up having a movie pass
Well, there you go.
card.
I mean, but
That
still.
was- and it was good. It wasn't just good just to get in the movie. It was good for the concessions
But something
too.
like that, you should at least get a thank you. And my point was,
If you
somebody
think about
did
it,
that,
I
and
understand
he
your
didn't,
point.
He didn't even get the thank you.
If you think about it, losing a
I
checkbook
can.
has got to be worse than losing money.
He didn't.
because
He didn't want
It
to
says
reward.
Kenny's on.
That's actually a valuable thing to lose.
It says Ken Zimmerman is watching with you.
Okay, I didn't see that. I don't have up. But Cindy had another comment.
Yeah, I saw
She goes,
that. Her
Yeah,
dad
my
is
dad is
so-
still kicking.
Yeah,
87
I'm getting
and
some
young.
of them over here. I don't know.
Oh,
87 and young.
yeah. Well, I have to
87
scroll
young.
down.
It looks like Kenny may have dropped ship again. He's probably afraid I'm gonna say something to him. Anyway,
I told you I said something to him.
I know. So that was one of my little tales of
Yeah, but see, that goes to show you how society's kind of fucked in a way.
yeah, but it also goes
When
to
you
show
don't
you
get the
how I
thank
was
yous.
raised and how you
Well,
were
yeah.
raised.
Well,
and
that's
I
the thing.
was-
It all
you know.
depends on how you were raised.
I
If you
have
were
a-
raised
all right, I have a
honest
theory.
and-
I have
Our,
a
and
theory.
our
conscience.
generation, most of our generation, and I mean our generation, you know, you're in your 40s, you know, Mark and I are in our 50s.
No, I am not, you fucking lying piece of shit.
Don't try to act younger than you are.
I'm
now.
not. I'm 49 years
He's
old.
still in
you
his
whore.
40s yet. I'm in my 50s.
She's
You
50
lying
today.
sack of shit, she's younger than you.
She's 50 today.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
a month and
And
a
I've
half
got-
older
That
than
makes
I've
you
got-
what, 50?
I was
one
gonna
month
buy,
and
you
16
know,
days.
Yeah, but you're old,
dates.
no, you're 52.
And I-
No, I am
You're
not.
old-
didn't
You're
have his
older
card
than
because he
me.
forgot to give it to me.
I am not, you fucking lying turd.
You are older
So my
than
mom
me.
ended up paying for it.
Now
I was
that
born
we've
in
got that
68, you were
settled,
born in
okay.
67, you slut.
No, I was born in 68, you were born in 67.
No,
No, he's born
No.
68 too.
I know you.
Nobody's asking
You
for
gotta
the
quit.
Twitter gallery comments.
He's a month and a half younger than me.
You
I
gotta
know.
quit fucking lying.
So either way, our
You're
generation,
lying. You lie like a dead dog.
either way, our generation, those people that are now in their 40s and early 50s,
And this
They-
is bad for me. I'm
most-
trying to fucking
most-
quit, and you guys make me
most-
smoke.
most of us
Maybe
got
we
raised with those old-fashioned morals that were still going around. Always respect your mother, you know, all those never hit a woman, for us it would be like
Cindy
things
said
like
happy
that.
birthday.
Try to always be
Thank you.
honest. Don't, all of that kind of stuff. I had that stuff beaten into me, but unfortunately my dad and some of those people that beat that stuff into me
Well, see,
never
that's
practiced
not
what
the way.
they preached.
That's not the way to do it, though. That's not the way to teach your children
No,
by beating
I-
it into them.
Well, I didn't.
You know?
No, they just kept reminding you. That's what I meant by beating it into you. It's like constantly hammered because they constantly. It's part of the
You
lecture.
were constantly hammered.
No, it's part of
You
the.
shouldn't drink when you were
It's
that
part of the
age.
constant. It was part of those constant lectures you'd get if you got into trouble or did something you weren't
Hey,
supposed to do to break
someone's-
those rules.
Also, kids also learn by watching.
They learn by
If-
example.
Well, yeah, role models.
If
Yeah.
you're honest and your kids see that,
My
they're
dad.
gonna get, oh, that's what.
Well, that's kind of how
That's
come
the normal.
when
It's supposed to be.
Kayla went to La Follette,
Mhm.
there was this one kid. He was a bigger kid, okay, a little bit larger, but he was a bully. He always bullied the other kids. My daughter took it upon herself to bully the bully because of what I taught her.
And that's funny considering how she's just a little kid-sized thing,
Little
He's
stick of
out.
dynamite.
He was out for fraud.
Kayla.
Hang on.
Kayla had me to pick
She
on her
told
for
me.
quite a
She
few
told me
years.
about this.
Yeah.
It was her junior year, I think it was. Dude was out in the quad picking on some of the other kids, and she comes out, and she sees it. She knows what's going on, and top of her lungs, she's yelling, "Son of a bitch! Did Goodyear lose their blimp again?"
Got her mother's lungs.
And she was just being a real bitch to this kid. And I loved it when she came back and told me about that. It's like, that's the way you should be.
That's my girl.
Always make sure that you make that bully feel like
You
shit.
are your father's daughter.
And you watch out for the younger kids. When I was in school,
Gotta be the bully of the bullies.
when I was in school,
So we put the bullies in their place.
I had two bullies in my school.
Nobody else
always
is
tried
gonna
to
do it,
pick on
so
me.
fellow students have to do it.
I put
And I
a
came
bully
home-
in his place.
I came home one day after school, and I was upset. And my mother,
But it's
she
more fun when you become
she
an
came
adult.
in the
you gotta
room
put
and
the fear
she-
of God in a kid.
Cindy had a comment while you guys are taking a break. She said special ed always got picked on.
You know,
yeah, I know they did.
I know.
And I always took care of.
And that's even worse because you're picking on the
Younger
people that
kids like
can't
that.
defend themselves.
Yeah.
No, okay. So my mom comes into the room and she asked me what's wrong, and I told her nothing. And I was like, nothing. She like, no, I know something's wrong. You need to tell me what's wrong. And I told her. I said, well, I got these two bullies in school. They're constantly picking on me, and I can't do anything because if I do anything to them, they're going to send me to the principal's office.
Mhm.
You know, not the kids, but
Yeah.
teachers or whatever, because teachers are blindsided to these fuckers, and they're doing it when the teachers aren't watching. And my mom's like, okay, well,
you gonna do something while the teacher's watching? That's not
I
too
would've.
smart.
well,
But I did. I guess
Anyway.
I did too. But you know,
anyway, so my mom's like, well,
I disrupted
if
the
he
classroom all
messes
the
with
time.
yeah, you're doing it now. Shut the fuck up.
Whatever.
So anyway, she's like, if he messes with you again, take care of it. And if they decide they want to send you to the principal, I'll come and take care of it.
And she did.
Okay.
That's the way
Well,
it was.
that basically gave me permission to retaliate however I needed to do. So instead of it happening in the classroom or on the play yard, we were leaving to go pick, we were on the bus, getting on the bus. This little fucker pushes me from behind. And I was a chunky kid at the time. He's like, move it, fat ass, we need to get on the bus. And he
What?
shoves me. And when I fell, and I caught the step right at the bottom part of my knees.
Ouch.
And my shit goes flying, and I was pissed.
That must have stung.
And I picked everything up, and I slammed it down in the front seat, and I sat down and waited for him. As soon as he started getting on, I picked all my shit up, and I stepped out in front of him in the line. And he shoved me again, and I turned around and cold clocked and knocked him to the fucking floor, got on top of him, beating the living shit out of him. It took 7 kids and the bus driver to pull me off of him.
Damn.
And when they pulled me and him off the floor, they pulled me and him up off the floor because my hand
Built up
was
rage.
wrapped in his shirt. And I was still cocked, ready to fucking throw another one. And my friend Sonny had me in an arm lock like this
So that you could
to keep me from throwing that punch. Because I guarantee you, I probably would have knocked him out on that one.
Broke his nose or made it worse
Well-
for you.
I gave him a fat lip, bloody lip. He had a black eye next day. But we were leaving the grade school to go over to the high school to pick the high schoolers up. And his brother was in high school.
So I don't burn it.
His brother was in high school. And everybody's like, oh, we're going to pick his brother up. And now you're going to get in trouble. His brother's going to...
Yeah, but back
His brother's
then there
going
was
to
a code.
do this and that and the other.
Back then there was code.
Bus driver sat me in the back and set Troy in the front. When his brother got on, his brother looks at him and he goes, what happened to you? And Troy was still fucking crying. He's like, that fat fucker back there kid started beating up on me, blah, blah, blah. Well, his brother comes back, he stood right in front of me and is like, did you kick my brother's ass? I said, yeah, why? He goes, good job, you needed it. And he fucking sat down
So
next to me.
even his brother
Yeah,
thought
and,
he
he,
did
and
it.
his brother sat down next to me,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
really pissed Troy off.
I
because of the
wonder
code,
if
too,
there was
'cause-
something going on at home where Troy was being a bully at home.
No, there's a
Yeah.
code. So you don't understand about those days. There
Well,
was a
see,
code back
Troy
then.
was the younger.
There was also
Yeah.
a code back then.
Spoiled.
Well, no, same thing. You know, my brother got into a fight. First, shortly, because he was being a smartass. Dwayne's got a smartass mouth. My brother's always had a smartass mouth, even back in high school. He was a freshman back then at La Follette. I was a senior. We got special privileges because my Uncle Mike drove the school bus that took us back and forth to school that year. Okay? So Dwayne became a cocky little fucker even more
Because he thought
his shit didn't stink. So him and this guy, Neil Gregg, got into a fight. Alright, now here's the code. They got into a fight. I sat there and now Dwayne got a little upset with me back then. He may not remember this, but he got pissed because I sat there and watched.
Yeah.
Just to make sure nobody else
Because
jumped in.
now here's the thing:
Well,
if
that's-
I would have
that's
jumped in on that
reason.
fight and kicked Neil Gregg's ass, because I later
He would have
kicked his
got
ass
beat up more
anyway,
for his big brother helping him.
he would have gotten pegged as somebody that, yeah, he would have had to kept defending himself constantly because
He
he
wouldn't be
would have
able to
been,
fight
oh,
his
you
own
can't
fight."
fight
Yeah.
your own fights, your brother got to
Yeah.
fight your battle. I just
Exactly.
stayed there to make sure it stayed a fair fight.
Fair fight.
Yeah.
So there was a code back then, and when your brother's a bully and stuff like that, and they deserve it, it's like, yeah, you know, you kind of do enjoy it because you're not the one that's going to get in trouble for kicking his ass.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that was like a code.
See,
you know?
I also had.
Did you get in
brothers.
trouble for not stopping it?
No, Dwayne just got pissed and pissy with me for a few days after that, and I had to explain it to him.
Cindy said she remembers that.
Yeah. See, and later I ended up kicking Neil Gregg's ass because I was in this classroom. The teacher was a real young, hot-looking teacher by the name of Deb Spencer. Okay, we always had fun with her. Like I said, I disrupted the classrooms a lot. Okay, by asking questions that
He
you
was more
really
of a
shouldn't
bully than
ask in a
anything.
classroom sometimes,
Troublemaker.
right? Because Deb Spencer went to Jamaica one time and she was talking about her trip, and I asked her if she smoked any of that wacky weed while she was over there, you know, shit like that. Oh, I had no problems asking that kind of stuff. I was,
Yeah.
you know, but anyway, Neil Gregg threw a penny at me, and I picked it up because it hit me, and I picked it up off the ground and I threw it back at him, and it hit him like right here.
Oh.
And he got pissed, and you know, it was those old desks that they were all one piece, the chair,
Yeah.
the desk, and there was a
Wooden
basket
ones?
below the thing down here like this.
Plastic one?
He picks it up like this, and I hit him once, and when I hit him, that desk falls on his head and knocks him out, see?
Oh, Jesus.
So I beat the bully, so I have this great big guy, I can't remember his last name, but you remember him because I was afraid to approach him that day. We saw him at the racetrack because I wasn't sure if it was him or not.
And you didn't know.
But he was just like I said he was.
react.
He was a gentle giant. You know, I went up to him and I said, Doug, is that you? And he's like, yeah. I mean, this guy, he was built like a brick shit house. And he comes up to me and he's like, it's about time somebody takes out that bully. Well, see, Neil Gregg was pissed at me because I knew his girlfriend's name, her
Real name.
real name. Her name was Tinker. That's all he knew her by was Tinker. I knew her real name was Vicky Oscar because I grew up with her and went to a school with her in the 3rd grade long before she was called Tinker.
Cindy said that was a bitch teacher.
What, Dub Spencer? Oh yeah, she could be a bitch. She was one of those real young, hot-looking teachers trying to prove herself all the time. But when that fight broke out, the thing that scared her the most was there was no way because she was so tiny that she was going to control anything. And once Steph walked through the door, and Cindy will tell you this, Steph was nobody to mess with at that school. Mr. Stephenson was the one that I told you about that I thought was a biker, and he was a biker. I mean, we made fun of the fact that, oh, you're never a former CC rider. Once a CC rider, always a CC rider. We had him go to Great America with us as our chaperone. Okay?
Good person.
And the CC riders were on the highway at the time coming up alongside the bus, and I looked back at Steph and I said, Steph, there's your buddies. And he kind of smiled and grinned at me. Because I knew he was always a CC rider, but the CC riders were one of them groups that you could be proud of because they were all made up of doctors, lawyers, teachers, and they did a lot of community service. They weren't the 1%ers. You didn't have to commit a felony or be a convicted felon or something. You had to make a certain amount of money and own a Harley Davidson. And believe me, Steph owned a Harley Davidson, but he was a scary looking dude. I mean, that guy had a beard that came down to here. The guy stood, I mean, at least 6'3", 6'4", had a ring that covered about 3 or 4 of his fingers that looked like it was homemade, and if you got hit with that fucker, it was gonna leave a permanent scar for the rest of your life. I mean, he was one scary looking dude, but if you were on his good side, he was a perfect person to have in your corner fighting for you.
Well, yeah.
At that school. You know, I got along with Steph because the minute I saw Steph coming, when that fight broke out, it's like, okay, I'm not messing with this dude. I got too much respect for him, you know. But when it came to any other teacher, you know, there was one that I hit. And he won't. I found him on Facebook not long ago because I got a friend of mine, Todd Banbro. Todd Banbro was in my graduating class from La Follette 2 in '85, and we both had this teacher named Ken Potter. And Ken Potter was one of his friends, and he lives in California now. And I send him a message, and I don't think he'll ever respond to me because I'm the one that hit him. He took my arm and put it behind my back because of something I did or something one time. And as he was taking me down the hallway to the principal's office, he kept putting pressure farther and farther up my arm, so it started to hurt. So I took my other good arm that was free, and I hit him to the point where his glasses fell off. Got suspended for that one too, but it was worth it. Because after that, he kind of stayed out of my face and didn't put a hand on me. But you don't put a hand on me, not even. I knew back then teachers should put their hands on them. Huh?
Miss Schultz.
Mrs. Schultz. I don't know who that was. That might have been a teacher she had that I didn't have.
Maybe she's talking about the one you were talking about?
No, I had Ken Potter. No, that was Ken
No,
Potter.
the two comments above that, she was talking about Mr. Stephenson.
Yeah, Mr. Stephenson.
How your ass would run from him and he loved us.
How come you're getting them all and I'm only getting one?
Yeah, Stephenson was a person that I never wanted to get on the bad side of Steph, ever. Like I said, when I was talking, remember when I was talking about cooking classes, and we were talking about cooking and stuff like this, and when I went and I said I wanted to get an easy A, so I decided to take, because I had to take all those electives at La Follette. Fuck off. I had to take all those electives.
He was one that made the best dishes in this class.
So I sat there and I took this, and I told you about Joyce Benson. Her name was Joyce Benson. She was like stuck in the 50s or something with her beehive hairdo and the way she dressed. Oh, I mean, she looked literally like she was stuck in the 50s or the 60s or something. Steph would come into that class because he was like the lunchroom monitor all the time, and that was right before lunch would start. And I had all 3 lunches, so he'd come in there and sample the food.
Cindy said Miss Schultz was English.
English. Okay, yeah.
But no,
She didn't like me.
After what I did?
I remember though that she had the teacher's assistant, Mrs. Walker, was in that class. That's the one I remember. Mrs. Walker was the English teacher's assistant, like TA or something like that. But I always ended up spending most of my time in in Barney's office, Rebholz.
Bernie Rubble?
No, his name was, we called him Barney, but his
You
name
should call
was,
him Barney
his
Rebholz,
name
that's
was
all
Rebholz, Mr. Rebholz. He was a principal, he was the senior class principal.
Oh, sounds like Bernie Rubble.
And I spent the first part of my English class most of the time in the principal's office for one thing or another.
She said yes.
Yeah. Yeah, she should. See,
What else did Joel do when he was in school, Cindy?
See, I dated Cindy Carrier. She's the one that I told you that it started out like a joke because it started out like a joke, and I'll go through it. She can correct me if I was wrong, but CJ McTeer was in one of our classes, and like I said, she stunk all the high heaven and annoyed the fuck out of me and had some kind of weird fucking crush or something. She wouldn't
We had a
leave me the fuck
library.
alone,
We had a
right?
librarian in our school that stunk really bad.
Yeah.
A dragon lady.
And I didn't take the normal bus straight home from school. I went downtown first and I would have had a transfer. So we're sitting at this bus stop. Cindy's there at the bus stop. We're in the shelter of the bus stop, and it's winter time, you know, because it's cold out. And she was shivering a little bit, so I helped her, you know, cuddled up to her, and she's the one that came up with the idea. Let's pretend like we're going out and dating, and tell CJ, and then it got CJ McTeer off my back, basically. But then it went from being fake to real.
And she said you loved her too much.
So who?
Cindy.
Cindy.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
She goes, he loved me too much.
Aww.
Yeah, we tried to have something even after I got the leukemia. I
Good
tracked her down.
times.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times, her and I.
What made her move to Jersey?
High school,
I don't know.
out of all my high school years, my senior year was my favorite year because of Cindy and being at La Follette and being back in Madison. You know, Cindy and I had been through hell together and back and had a lot of fun, but it just wasn't our time ever, I guess. You know, is the best way to say that.
What'd you do in high school,
Because it
Ryan,
never-
besides climb mountains and kill people?
You know,
Can't kill him.
I didn't
Well,
climb
she
mountains,
married.
but I
She
did.
married military, so basically she had to move where her
Yeah,
husband
she
moved.
married
Yeah,
a
okay.
career military dude, a real nice guy from what I could tell, and she got some good jobs out there, better opportunities out there.
Which
in New
means she's
Jersey.
probably on a
had-
military base.
She had a lot of better opportunities job-wise out there too.
Maybe.
Jersey.
Well,
Unless
the one time,
unless he's retired from
Yeah,
the military.
unless-
because I remember the one
now.
time she was here, and I think she was. We were trying to work things out after, try to get together for a while there after I had the leukemia and stuff. She was working for a security outfit that I think I had already went through. One of the ones that I had already worked for at that time. So. But see, some of those security jobs in Madison were all dead-end jobs. They weren't going to go very far because they were always the Madison was so saturated with security outfits that they were always renegotiating contracts. So, you know, they'd lose, you know, they'd have to cut back on their employees. People would have to go part-time because, you know, they lost this contract or that contract because they got underbidded. But if I remember right, when we tried to hook back up after the leukemia, she was doing security at Westgate Mall.
JBM.
Yeah. Yeah. But I had already worked Westgate Mall as security through a different company before that. But, yeah. See, I wrote her a letter when I was getting sick because I didn't think I was going to make it.
Yeah, well,
And then she responded, and then she showed up at the hospital. And she wasn't living too far away. What are you doing now?
What he's doing.
I don't swing that way. Quit
getting
trying
ready
to
to
kiss
kiss
me,
you.
you fucker.
That would have been funny if I had pulled a Woody, huh?
I don't know which Woody are you talking about.
I'm talking about
Should we call him and pull him?
the what he did at Dwayne's wedding, that video.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe Mark and I pulled that off, and then Woody did that without telling. I don't think he had that plan. Do you? I don't think Woody had that plan. I think that was all spontaneous that day. But I never saw. My brother turned that fucking color red. That's asshole. I get to look at it later though. Just wait. When I edit it, wait till I edit it. See. Bastard.
What is that? I don't even know if it can show up over there.
I don't know. I never really paid attention.
Yeah, it can.
So, all right, what else are we going to talk about? We don't want to talk about my past. My past will haunt us all forever.
Your past.
You'll have
is
nightmares
haunting.
if you hear about my past.
Your
Some of
past.
the crazy
is
shit I did.
Very haunting.
You know, I did a lot of crazy shit in my time. I've told you that time and time again.
Well, you know, after my
Some
little
of it I'm not too proud of.
After my little.
But I don't
incident-
regret anything because at least when I do die and I get
See,
to that
it was
point.
it was true.
What? What was true?
Don't worry about it.
But look at you now, still a smartass.
Nope. Oh yeah.
No, he's
stuff-
more of a dumbass.
Fuck off.
Every time I come over here, I gotta bring him the helmet and promise to bring the short bus so he can sit in the back and lick the windows.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Oh my God.
What do you mean? You keep telling me they taste like cherry. Cherry Kool-Aid.
You must have personal experience on this, huh?
You're the one who keeps telling me this.
I'm not even familiar with the straitjackets. It's always on standby for you.
Whatever. No, I got the reputation in school after that as being the one to go to for dealing with bullies.
Ah,
Yeah, you got to be the school bully now for that.
No, I wasn't the bully.
He was like Kaylee. He was the
I
bully.
protected
The bully's bully?
I
bullies
yeah,
bully.
Can you say that three times fast?
Bullies, bullies, bullies.
bully-ator.
Bullies, bullies.
bullying
I bullied
Bully-ator.
the bullies. I was the one that when other kids would have issues with these damn bullies, they'd come to me.
You know, when I got picked on in school, I just let it go in one ear and out the other. I just ignored them.
I got along with
I couldn't do that. I couldn't let
difficult
people
to do
pick
that.
on me,
I
especially
got
when I
along
got
with the
to
jocks. I
Lafayette.
got along with the.
The thing is, if I knew now about my family history back then, and everybody else got to know it, it would have been even
She
worse.
met it. You never know.
Whatever.
You don't know that though.
Well, no, that's something.
The thing is, with how I got picked on, yeah, it would have been. I
How do you
wasn't
know?
always dressed the.
Yeah,
the
but things could have been different for you if you knew your dad
See,
back
she said.
then.
Look, she said her husband retired after 24 years of
Yeah,
Air
I
Force.
said he was a career
And have a
guy.
house.
and have a house, so
he was a
it'd be a
career
lot for
military.
them to move. Back
Thank
to
him for his
West
service,
house.
He
please.
was a career military.
Yes.
But anyway,
Thank you. Tell him let me thank him for the
How do
time he
how do
spent
you know that
serving.
if you didn't know your dad back then when you were growing up, that your life might have been better and you could have got the better stuff
Not
and the better
possible.
clothing and stuff like this because you would have known him back
Are we
then.
gonna do this what if thing? I thought we did that last episode.
I know, but she brought this up and she's sitting there thinking that it'd be worse, but you don't know that. If she would have known Dennis back then and knowing Dennis now the way we know him, her life might not have been the way it was when she was growing up.
Yeah,
It could have
and
been
then
a
she
lot
may not
better.
have met you.
Well, anything's possible. That's like we
Then
went
she'd be
into
better
our
off.
scenarios too. Like, you know,
What?
oh, fuck off that.
Oh, shit.
You keep fucking dreaming. We were meant to find each other. It would have happened one
He
way
is
or the
my
fucking
rock.
other. No, you're my rock.
And you're his paper.
After my
He's
mom,
my knight in shining armor.
after my
You
mom.
better get some spit and polish now, because that thing ain't shining very well.
Fuck off.
Some armor
He's
all.
my soulmate.
After my mom passed
We
away,
would've-
that's what I told her. She was my rock.
We would have met somehow, some way. If destiny, if
If
we
it was
were
meant, yes.
destined,
Her dad
if
was
we were
military,
destined to be together, we
You would've
would have met somehow,
Yes.
some way,
I
no
like
matter
it.
what
And like I
our
told
lives
you, I
passed
think
through.
I still think to this day.
All right, I'm
saying
gonna
this to the day I die, that I
invent a
think
time machine, or I'm gonna steal a
think-
time
I'm
machine.
pretty sure Brenda had
And I'm
something
gonna go
to
back
do
in
with
time
me
and I'm gonna
finding
prove
her.
that.
See, I'm almost positive that my angel Brenda had something to do with me finding Tanya.
Possibility.
Not
Yes,
only,
and
not
he
only
still
for
calls
me,
himself Tiss.
I already
not
said
only
that.
for me, but not only did Tanya help me
I say
heal
Tiss
more
means this
and
issue
help me
sucks.
after my mom died, but she was also there for Ashley when Brenda couldn't be anymore because Brenda passed away. See,
When she attached herself to me
like that,
Yeah.
because she reminded
Like
her
that?
so much of her mom.
like that.
Like
With
that.
all the
Like
evil family, you know. Her family
And
loves
right
me.
now, the only two, other than her
Hey, you
real
think he's
mother,
in a mood?
the only two people that she actually looks up as a mother figure is
Yeah,
me
he still
and
loves
Maxine.
Elvis. If Elvis was around, he would have probably married him.
If it was
Hunka hunka burning love.
if it was yeah, because Maxine, after I had that one affair on Brenda with Maxine and Brenda found out about each other and became pretty close friends. So yeah,
Her and
Maxine.
Trevor,
It made your
right?
life live in hell.
I don't know, it made it a little bit more interesting, but
No,
we
it
won't
should've
go
been-
in-
should've been
this,
living hell.
this isn't supposed to be an X-rated show, so I can't go there with that one. Okay.
Why not? You always
Anything's
go everywhere.
possible.
You go everywhere with everything.
Well, we don't want to go there with this, okay? Now, anyway, Maxine was there with Brenda
Thinks
a
he's
lot,
Italian,
helping,
but he's a
supporting
fucking
Brenda.
Wilson in the
But then
corner.
wasn't she there
Because
for
of Bar-
Ashley
oh, yeah.
after
Well, she
Brenda
was also
passed
there
away?
for Ashley before because she was there with Brenda a lot, doing things, trying to help Brenda keep that backbone that I was giving to her so that she could stand up to Barb and Gloria and all that.
Wow.
You know. So Maxine was kind of like
Ribs and soda.
when Brenda and I split up,
Excuse me.
Maxine stayed behind and helped Brenda keep that backbone so that she could keep saying no to Barb and keep standing up to Barb, and so they became really close. And you know, they always thought.
I ain't seen that comment.
You know, I'm gonna see it later, anyways. Well, I know she can be just as much of a smartass as the rest of us here because I know Cindy hasn't changed too much over the years.
You go, girl.
You know, she was a smartass back in high school. She may have been the goody two-shoes type, you know, because she was always getting the good
Well, it's better to
grades
be
and
the
in all
smartass
those
than the
typing
dumbass.
classes and stuff like that. But she was a smartass. You know, all that did was when you're a smartass that far back, all that does is get better with age. You know, you get to be more of a smartass and quicker to the punch, and you know. So yeah, I'm not surprised about anything that comes out of her mouth. I mean, I know this isn't, but you know, still, it would be if she was here.
Like I said, you gotta invite her to Wisconsin. You gotta invite her to the show.
Come back to
Chase, come back
Wisconsin.
here, come visit on a Saturday, and we can fucking say you're with her. And then I have another person to pick on you with.
Oh, then no,
What we should do is we should schedule it to where she's at one of our cookouts,
and then she
There you go.
like
Never-
next summer,
never.
if possible.
You don't want that to happen because you don't want to ask her about any of my past because.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, we want to find out all the details.
Ask her about Dane Killerlane. Do you remember that one? Dane Killerlane, Warner Park. Do you remember what happened there
You telling
one
me
day?
about that.
No, I'm asking her. I'm asking Cindy if she remembered what happened way back in the day in Warner Park. She got in trouble at Coventry Group Home because of me taking her down there. You know, I mean, that was my fault.
Oh, hell yes!
You know, I mean, it was a long time ago.
So
We
you're
went
such a
down there.
troublemaker.
She was like, well, she was already in trouble, kind of as it was.
He
so
was the bad boy
I've heard.
that everybody wanted.
she couldn't be gone for too long. She was in a group home, so she couldn't. She was like,
Oh,
Couldn't-
she had curfew.
yeah, but
Kind
that day it was kind of like one of those things where she got in trouble because
Joe, were
she,
you
so
arrested?
she only
She had
could be gone for
restrictions.
like 3 or 4 hours or whatever, so we couldn't go too far away.
Yeah.
So we only went down to Warner Park area.
Were you like the James Dean of Madison?
So we went down to the Warner Park area and we were making out for a while. And as we left the woods, after we left the woods, and we were walking towards the old shelter, because the shelter don't exist. It's not the one that's there today.
No.
But it was an old shelter in Warner Park that, as you were walking towards it, you could see almost everybody that was in it. Okay, and as we were walking closer and closer to it, I realized that there was killer lanes in there. You know, so obviously I'm gonna walk over, so we walked over and stuff like this, and you know, we knew we had to be wary of the time because we had to walk all the way back to Coventry Group Home from there, or hop a quick bus down. You know, and all of a sudden, as we're standing there, and I'm talking to Chuck Washa and stuff like this, and we're standing there, everybody thought what we heard was firecrackers, but it was actually a gunshot. And Dane Killerlane, the guy that was here at that one cookout with us for that one,
Picture.
That little short guy?
Yeah.
the
Last
King of the Hill,
September.
the King of the Hill picture that we took.
Yeah, he was kind of a short guy, isn't he?
The one that I said would be
Yeah.
Dale. The one that I said would be Dale from.
I think Mark was the shortest in that picture.
Well, anyway, he's the one that ended up doing the prison
Yeah.
time for shooting a guy named
For some
Jeffrey
reason I thought he
Apple.
was short.
Because it was Mark, Woody, Dane, and
Yeah.
Joe.
No, Woody wasn't here that day.
Then
No,
who
it
was?
was Dwayne.
No,
Oh, that's
Dwayne.
right.
It was
Mark,
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
Dwayne was here.
Yeah.
Dane.
Mark
Joe.
and Dane and me.
I put,
So, geez, you
I
had
put
3
Dwayne.
relatives.
For some reason I was picturing him as being shorter.
I put Dwayne in Hank Hill's spot. His in Dale Gerbil's spot.
Yeah, but
Dane was in
Dale should have been
Boomhauer's
Dane.
spot,
I should
and I
have
was
been
in Bill's
Boomhauer. I should have been Boomhauer. Dane should have been the guy
Dale?
that did Dale. But anyway,
Is that the one that
Yeah,
talks
sure
so weird?
enough.
that's the guy that shot the guy at Warner Park back in the day of the story. That guy there that was
Did
here
you
at
get
that
that last
cookout.
comment?
What?
I didn't see that
But
coming.
we ended up having to sit in that squad car for so long and turning them in and stuff like this because this happened. She missed her curfew. And she got in more trouble, and then I'm sitting there having to explain that my cousin shot a guy. In the meantime, I'm sitting there also scared to death because he was still out on the lam somewheres, and we had no idea what state of mind he was in.
Her comment was, yeah, the guy was sitting there with blood out of his face, and the guy ran by the little bridge there and threw the gun in the pond.
Right.
Did they fish out the gun?
Oh, we turned him in. They didn't have to. I don't know if they ever fished the gun out of the pond, but
Well, they still would have need
Rick,
that would have.
what happened was is later that night when I ended up, because I didn't even go home, I ended up at my Uncle Ralph's house that night. Okay, because my parents, my mom lived on Moreland Road at the time. Okay, so I stayed there at my Uncle Ralph's house, and as I was on the phone, I found my mom got a call that she called back quick because she had to hang up. Rick Killerlane, Dane's brother, Junior's dad, talked Dane into turning himself in that night.
In other
So he
words,
eventually he turned himself in, and he confessed to the whole thing.
Good.
But he was saying that it was a gun sale that went wrong was the whole thing. And then my Uncle Pat after that blamed himself because he went to his dad first trying to sell the gun to his dad, and his dad's like, I wish I would have bought that because then it would have never happened. He
She
blamed-
remembers your uncle's house. You used to go swimming all the time there.
Yep, my Uncle Ralph's house. That pool has since been filled in. It's a shame, but after my Uncle Ralph passed away, that was about 2 years after that, my Uncle Kenny moved in with my Aunt Naida,
They
my
fill it
Uncle
with
Ralph's
rocks.
brother, moved in with
Probably dirt.
his ex-wife, and then they filled in the pool.
Why was it too much of a hassle?
Too expensive, and nobody was using it anymore.
Pools are a pain in the ass to keep.
They are
keep
expensive.
up.
Well, my Uncle
Their
Ralph
stuff doesn't
stopped.
keep up.
When he first had it, he had one of those outdoor electric type heaters that were along, big, huge piece of thing. It looked like central air, but it was all for heating the pool. Well, after about a year of those bills, he decided to turn that fucker off permanently and bought a solar blanket thing for a big, huge, massive solar. I mean, it cost him like a couple $1,000 for this
But
big,
it's-
huge, because it
but
was
it's
like
something you can use
an
all the time.
Olympic-sized swimming
Yeah.
pool. You're talking, it was about 12 and a half feet deep at the deep end with a diving board.
Yeah.
So, and he taught us all how to maintain that. While we, take the nets around and clean all the filters and stuff, so that he didn't have to pay somebody to do it. But after a while, as we got older and got adults and so on and so forth,
Quit coming around.
we got coming around. But when I was dating and I was dating girls and stuff like that, oh yeah, I took them there all the time. Cindy probably got the most use out of that pool with me.
Man, it's one of the most romantic things. is go
'cause
swimming by the moonlight.
Shortly after high school and stuff like that, I didn't find the
Skinny
time.
dipping by the moonlight.
A couple of years after high school and
Why
Cindy and I
no?
broke up, I didn't find the time to
Of
go
course,
back
I
to
wouldn't
Mount
know.
Ralph's house much for swimming because I was working too much.
Going on top of a fucking rock in the mountains, a granite protrusion out way out on a cliffside.
And
In the
dive into a
moonlight.
lake,
I would have never made it.
cliff diving.
With a nice little
I
fire.
would have never made it.
No.
I would have froze, and you would
You
have
want to
had
go
to.
dive? I'll take you up there. You can dive off that rock. There ain't no water down below.
No, I want to go cliff diving though someplace.
I know places up there too that you can do that.
You can
You
do
told
that.
me if we ever
Does
get
that
to,
mean you want to go to Hawaii?
No,
She says she's coming back in March.
that's my birthday. I'm gonna be 52 if I make it that far.
you will.
I keep telling
Which
myself
means-
I'm immortal.
Which means
I keep going back to
you're
that-
a Twinkie, you're gonna keep
I
going.
keep going back to that thing where when my brother and I were living together on Allied Drive, and he was
Which
always
means we're
calling
gonna
me a
have to,
vampire. I keep going
hopefully
by
set up
that,
a
I'm
time for her to
immortal.
come
I'm
out.
gonna live for fucking ever.
Joe,
Why?
she's coming back in March. We're gonna have to
See right there?
kind of schedule it with her. To
Coming
see
back
if-
to visit or coming back to stay?
Probably
She's
coming back to visit.
Her dad lives here,
Yeah,
and I think
okay.
does your brother and sister still live around here too?
I don't know. Takes a minute for the.
What?
What? What'd she
Why?
say?
What?
Repeat it. Nothing shy in
She's
the
turning
show.
red. What the hell? What are you embarrassed about?
What?
You had sex in the pool with her?
Oh, that's not true.
Joe, you
If she
dirty
said so,
dog.
probably.
That's what
I
she
wouldn't
said.
doubt
We
it.
had sex in the pool.
Probably. Oh yeah.
March 5th,
Well, see,
her dad's birthday.
It was
Probably that
clean, it was
whirlpool,
clean
too, 'cause-
sex.
Because when after the leukemia too,
And it's just a visit.
did we do it in the whirlpool
Okay,
too?
she's doing private.
My mom
and,
lived in
and
Holiday
community
Gardens because it
I'm
might
not
have
getting
been-
all of them.
It might have been the whirlpool too at
No,
Holiday
it's all
Gardens
on-
because we might have done it there
She's-
too. 'Cause
She's
I-
doing a
when I
private
met her-
and
when I-
community because I'm not getting all of them.
When I met up with her after the leukemia, my mom was living at Holiday Gardens too, and so that we could have gone. to
Why wouldn't your
all of that,
sister still
too.
be alive?
Okay, my sister's still alive. She lives in La Crosse. My brother killed himself in a fire.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
That
Oh,
sucks.
that's sad. Yeah.
And March 5th,
I got that one.
I know.
Yeah, see, I don't remember her brother.
I think she's doing a
I don't remember her brother's name,
That's
but
a Wednesday.
if I'm not mistaken, her sister's name was Tammy.
So I wonder how long she's going to be here for.
I don't know. Ask her. How long you gonna be out here, Cindy?
Because if she's going to be out here at least till that Saturday or Sunday.
She's staying. She comes to see her dad.
Yeah, she's coming to see her
She,
dad.
when we saw
His
her, 'cause
birthday's on the 5th.
you were with me when we saw her because we were at hospice visiting Charlene
Yeah.
with my mom,
And it was around March.
and she was in the hall. She was walking through the hallway, and I said, "Oh my God, it's Cindy Carrier," and her mom was there.
Yeah. That's when her mom passed away, right?
Yeah. And her dad was working
That's
there,
what she
volunteering there at
meant.
hospice
Okay.
and stuff.
It's not Carrier.
So we met her back then. I know her name's not Carrier now. It was when I knew her in high school.
She says that they usually come for the full month of March.
See,
So, which means
I'm always gonna
hopefully you'll be
picture
able
her.
to.
I'm always gonna picture her the way
Hey,
she
we
was
can
in
hang
high
out.
school. You know,
Rick.
with a real long hair.
Do you know
Yeah,
her,
that's
Mark?
it. Her brother's name was
Rick.
Rick.
Mark,
Was
do you
I
know
right
her?
about her sister's
Do you
name?
know her?
Tammy?
Nope.
She didn't say.
I don't believe I've met her yet.
Oh.
But anyway, she had this like blue sweater on, a watch that my mom was wearing and stuff like this, you know.
They can give you the paddle.
And it was in the high school. It was
Hang yourself
it was
with
like my senior year, so it would have been her junior
Not my
year of
fault
high
it's hot
school
here.
that picture was
Windows
taken.
open.
I'm having heat
Yeah,
stroke.
but it's warm.
It's just me.
So that's the way I'll
Humid.
always remember her. Is that junior?
Yeah.
Mine's
The
a
way she looked
combination
that
of
junior
warm and
year, I always see that in her.
No,
Okay,
I
she
see
said
her.
yes to something.
Yeah, Tammy. Her sister's name being Tammy.
Oh, okay.
I know what she said yes to. I'm paying attention.
I don't know how you can. You can't afford that.
I know it. It's a bitch too. Man, I'm lucky I can afford to take a shit half the time.
TMI.
What are you doing?
It's not showing up, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's a little smiley face thing.
Yeah, it's not showing up. You're over too far.
It's showing up on my screen.
Yeah.
It's
People
not
are
showing
like-
up on mine.
People are like glow sticks, so sometimes you just want to
Snap their
them
neck,
and
shake
see
them
it-
around, and
see if something lights up
see
inside.
if something lights up.
If the lights come on.
Oh, now it's on my screen.
A little delay there.
That's how much fucking delay there is. Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Between mine and
It's
yours.
your laptop. And
Yeah.
you're
Well,
on,
no, yours is
you're on,
direct.
you're on straight up wireless.
I'm coming through wireless streaming.
No, she did a whole bunch of them.
So you're coming out straight up through the wireless, and that's got both of them going.
When I come to Wisconsin,
How
I
can
get
you have a foursome when there's 6 of us?
Really?
My
That'd be more like an orgy.
I'm not commenting on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could because my mind can go into some pretty deep
we're
places.
gonna have to schedule a night out and still have them on the show.
Oh,
Well, here's the thing. We can set it up to where we can all
go down to
meet up
Harry's.
on a weekend.
Go down
No,
to
fuck
Harry's. Fuck you, Audi.
Fuck Harry's. We'll go to the fucking Sprecher.
Oh, you're gonna buy?
No, you are.
Oh, fuck off. I ain't gonna go spend no $100 and $200 in no
Hey,
fucking
the 4
restaurant.
of us, it cost $140.
Yeah, for the 4 of us, and you bought.
And I had prime rib.
Yeah, and you bought.
And these two had a full rack of ribs each.
And I know.
They were
And you?
I was a cheap son of a
You were a
bitch. I had a
cheap
burger.
bitch. You were a cheap bitch. I could have just took you in the bathroom, bent you over, and got done.
Oh, fuck off.
She goes, you guys are too fucking much.
I was trying to fucking take it easy on your fucking
That's
whole
how they are all the
ass
time, Cindy.
What? I told you anything you wanted. Anything
Even
you
though
Well, then I
wanted
should
on
have
that
had the
menu.
fucking prime rib.
You
Just
should
like
have.
you.
You would have liked it.
I'm
it was
sure
good.
I would have. It looked good too.
What
But
did,
I was trying to be
what
nice.
did you have? You had
And whenever
something-
I mean,
I
think about
said,
that.
when I said,
$150 to take us out to eat. That's fucking
I
ridiculous.
set aside.
Yeah, but it was a special occasion.
It was a
your
special
anniversary.
occasion. It was your guys' anniversary, and I set aside over $200 to take you out.
Yeah.
Shit, if I'd have known that, I'd have picked a different place to go.
Whatever.
But we wanted to try Speckles
Feel
because
like
it was
I
new.
like
But
to
we
do
wanted
that.
to try it. It was really good there.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of unique how they make the soda. Instead of using sugar, they use honey.
They use
Yes.
honey in their
Yeah, instead of sugar.
for soda.
Yeah,
They
and we all-
substitute honey for sugar.
Yeah.
When they're making, and like I said, if they took that orange, what do you call that? That
We all
orange
had the
dream.
orange.
That orange
soda.
dream. It was called an orange dream.
Yeah, we all had
And
the
if you would
orange.
have put that in with like a scoop or two of vanilla ice cream,
Oh, God.
it would have
Yeah.
been just like a fucking dreamsicle.
Oh,
It
God,
would
that
have.
sounds good.
Wouldn't it have?
Yeah.
And there was
Sounds
no
good right now,
sugar in,
actually.
except probably in that
She
ice
said, I'll just order a side salad. I'll be cheap.
cream.
No, there's no cheapness with us.
Not if we got the money.
Yeah.
As long as we got the money.
True. You got the money. Yeah.
I say,
But no, it was really good. Prime rib is supposed to be a 12-ounce prime rib.
Hey,
that thing,
Oh,
I
she's
got
coming
an
in
I
idea.
March.
swear it was bigger than 12
I got
ounces.
an
That's after
idea.
tax
And it
time.
was what, $21?
I bet
For
we
that,
could.
for that
Hey,
prime rib, I think it was $21
I
for
got an
that.
idea. I got an idea. How's this? We sit there and go to like.
That was a Saturday special, by the way.
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, I'll bet you if we talk to somebody before then, and I know you don't like, but anyway, too bad. Fuck you, you ain't got a choice. But if we go down to like Harry's Boondocks, and they got wireless internet access, okay, unless you can still do your
live show
hotspot.
from down there?
Yeah, and do
Was
a
it a
live show.
prime rib or ribeye?
And do a live show,
It
and
was
while
a
we're
Saturday special, prime rib.
and while we're doing the live show from there, we have Cindy and her husband and all of that for guests on the show, and we're talking about Harry's Boondocks and give him a little promotion
plug.
since he's
Yeah,
family.
you have to talk to
Gotta
him
get
before you
people
do
to
it.
watch too.
Yeah.
Well, we do
Oh,
that,
looks like she's not on now.
but
It's
you know,
just me.
we get him because give him a little props for that because he's family.
Well,
and
tonight
give
I'm
us a
having
good
steak
chance.
and lobster.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. That sounds good.
Well, that's weird. Because that shows up over here, but it doesn't show the only one person watching.
Well, yeah, it shows only one person watching.
Yeah, she's probably DC'd or she's in Jersey.
And 2 months ago, I got a brand new 2017
Oh, she's
Mustang GT.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
2017 GT.
The picture of her first car was pretty cool
shoulda-
too.
you
The
shoulda
one she
got-
had before that, when she first got out there, she was
Should have
showing.
got a Dodge Hellcat.
I paid attention. Yeah, I'd have went for the
Or the
Dodge. I
Dodge
like that.
Demon.
I like those two. I've
It
seen
must
those.
have been the ribeye because there is
Hellcat.
no.
I'm not a big
It
Ford
wasn't
person.
a regular menu item. It was a Saturday special.
And it must
The
have
prime
been
rib?
It must have been
Yeah.
something that's
That was
not
prime rib.
normal
No,
because
it
it's
was-
not
it was
on.
like one of those-
It might
was a
not- it was
Saturday
around-
special.
it
It was one of
February.
those things that was paper clipped inside of the
It
menu.
was February. It
for
might have
like
been
a Saturday
Valentine's special or something.
Might have been.
But yeah,
Because
it
we
was
took
really,
you guys out for your anniversary.
it looked
so
really good. The fucking thing looked
Could've
like
been
it
a-
was really fucking
could've been a
decked and
Valentine's
The
juicy
full
and-
rack of ribs was $24,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
a 12-ounce ribeye is $24.
You know where we're going
So
tomorrow?
that prime rib was probably between
Right on
24
the
and 30.
You know where we're going tomorrow?
Bring them around.
I don't know.
It was $22, so it was a special
where I'm going?
$22.
We're going out
You
to
got
eat tomorrow, but I just
12
don't know
ounce.
where.
Oh.
Got a 12. It's supposed to be 12 ounce, but I swear that fucker was like 16 ounces
Yeah.
as big as it was. You guys seen it?
Yeah.
It was
bigger
like
than
that
what
fucking thick.
You know where we're going.
And
Well,
the plate
I'm
they
confused
brought it
because
on
you
was
started
like
out
this
with one
big.
and then you chose the other. So is it Outback or is it?
I never said Outback.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
No,
Outback
I
is
did
good,
not.
actually.
I never said
Outback
Outback.
has some of the best steaks.
Outback's
It's
got some
better than
kick-ass steak.
the steaks at Outback are better than the ones you'll get at Texas Roadhouse.
Well, that's where we're
Guarantee
going.
you.
We're going
I
to
will-
Texas Roadhouse.
I'll guarantee you, the
Well,
steaks at Outback are gonna be
I
I
better.
don't
never
care.
said
Texas
Outback
Roadhouse.
because I never
To
looked
me,
it up.
to me, a steak is a steak.
So anyway,
From
We're
most
going-
places.
the
we're
plate.
going
And
to-
remember, the plate was like this big.
Yeah.
The fucking prime rib was cut like this,
It was thick.
Yeah, it was fucking thick.
real thick, and it filled up about 2/3 of that fucking plate.
Yeah.
Now you tell me that was a 12 ounce?
And how
It
There's
was
was
a
no
bigger-
fucking
and how
way.
was
It was
that?
a bigger
How was the
serving than what
side-
they
that rouge
said
that
it would
with
be.
it?
It was good, man.
Was it?
God, was it good?
My dad, when I was young, I tell you what, there was a place in Madison that was legendary for their prime rib. I mean, they were a local legend for the prime rib dinners that they served there, okay? And I don't know what happened, but my dad took me there
There's still
once.
one in Janesville.
What's wrong?
My dad took me to a place called Stevens. It was on the corner of East Johnson and
Prime Quarter.
Yeah.
North Street there, or
There's one up
something.
in the
You know.
There's
Prime
still-
Quarter
there's-
in Janesville is where Wayne
there's-
took me for our.
There is
for
still
prom.
one in Janesville.
Oh, right.
Hey,
Yeah.
when you go down North Street,
How did you meet him?
He borrowed his
is that where
dad's
they- yeah, Milwaukee Street's North Street.
conversion van.
Go down North Street to that
Because
corner
my
where
dress,
Johnson Street
Literally, my
intersects. There used to
dress
be a
was
restaurant there
huge.
called
It was like a
Stevens.
Southern belle dress.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I still have it.
S-T-E-V-E.
But yeah, he took me down to
NS.
Prime Quarter before we went to prom.
Okay.
Oh.
They
How did I
were a
meet 'em?
steakhouse,
Yeah.
like a small. They weren't like a big chain steakhouse. They were.
I mean, you were originally from
only
Fort,
one
right?
Yeah.
You're from
restaurant.
Palmyra?
Yeah.
They had the
I had
best
gone to a
prime rib.
dance in
The
Jefferson
place
at
was
the
decked out with
fairgrounds
nothing but
with
Elvis
my ex,
Presley
and
paraphernalia type stuff inside, like those.
Mr. Weenie was
Did you have a Woody the entire time you were in there? Because
my
it's all
child
of it.
sweetheart
I
was
was
there.
oh man, when I saw
And
them
Wayne was
fucking,
there,
and
and
then
I
they
basically
loaded
met him through my
the
child's
big
sweetheart.
fucking prime rib, and then they had these.
And
She wasn't-
we
she
started
was
dating
like,
the
she
next
responded.
day.
Who was your childhood sweetheart?
Bobby.
I'll let you on a little
Rider?
secret, Cindy. I have never
Rider?
been to Prime Quarter.
He now lives in Montana.
Neither
with
have
his
I.
wife.
Well, I was just
Besides the
wondering
Prime
because
Quarter that was
Well,
on
we
Milwaukee
also-
knowing
Street
that
in
I know
Madison.
Wayne, I was wondering
Hey.
what
Prime
Talking
Quarter was on
over us.
East Washington Avenue.
we're talking.
Oh, it was on East Wash. Prime Quarter that was on East Wash in Madison. You know that used to be a funeral home.
Yeah,
Now it's a PDQ.
yeah, and the
Oh, wait a
gyro,
minute. No, it's not a PDQ anymore.
It's not even
It's
there.
a Quick Trip.
and the
Yeah,
gyros,
it's not even
and the
there.
gyros place that was next door to that place was a bar called Just Rumors.
You mean Tequila or Tequila?
Yeah, I remember Just Rumors. But I'm saying, the Prime Quarter that was there
So I went from a steakhouse to a.
went from
No,
a funeral
the
home
steakhouse
to a
was next door to the
steakhouse.
bar.
So they still had a meat
Then
wagon?
went from a steak. Then went from the steakhouse
The Prime Quarter
to
was a
become a
place where you could cook your
PDQ,
own
and
steak.
then Quick Trip bought all the PDQs.
Good lord.
Larry, do you remember the time when Wayne got so shit-faced he asked the lady that happened to be a nurse that he needed a shot? Must be your brother Dwayne.
Yeah. Yeah, Dwayne was a real character back then. There was no Kara and no Beth quite yet. So,
So he was kind of like you.
no,
Not quite,
I'm my
but
own.
to a,
Dwayne could
to
not.
a degree, but
Dwayne could only wish he could be like me.
yeah. I mean, he
So
liked,
me and told me that
He liked playing
Prime
the field,
Quarter,
so
you
to
could
speak.
go there, beat your meat, and they would put you in a slab.
pretty much.
Yeah. Now here's the fucked up thing to think of. Okay, since it was a Prime Quarter after it was a
funeral
funeral
home.
home, did they keep the same freezer and put the fucking meat in it?
Oh, that's.
instead of-
I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad I never got the opportunity to eat there because now I would get sick about thinking about it.
That's why I said it is. It's still a meat wagon.
You know how long it
What do they
took me
call
to
it?
eat at KFC after the one on Park Street in Madison found that they had dead rats at the bottom of the buckets?
Yeah. Yuck.
Well, if you would have saw,
People were
if
just
you would have saw the
diving into the
KFC on the south side of
corner.
Madison back in the 80s, you would have known why.
No, sorry. Ugh.
She spilled something over there. She spilled on your shit.
My soda's heavy.
But see,
She spilled her soda all over your mouse.
when
No,
Cindy,
not over the
when
mouth.
Cindy and I were dating in high school at La Follette, Madison was full of things to do.
I'm sure it was. Madison, it's a big
We
city.
had-
Is she
we had the
gone
roller
again?
rink.
No,
Shit.
no,
We had the
no.
arcades just down because
Why is
we
it
had.
But she made a comment.
La Follette had open campus, and down at the one end we had a stop and go and the
Yeah,
chocolate
people are
shop
just
down
dying
there.
to get into the Prime Quarter.
Yep.
I see that over here, but she's gone again.
People are dying to get. Yeah, that was
Oh,
one place I never
there
got
she's
to
back.
go.
Can you imagine if you walked in there and looked in the meat locker and I guess it was Dick's?
Oh jeez.
Now are those people dicks or bull dicks?
Oh.
Well, if it was
Shouldn't
No,
matter.
no,
if it was built on
No, hang on now, hang on now.
first, it
No,
would have been the
no, you can
corpses
actually
dicks.
take and take that a different way too. Bull dicks or bull dykes.
Oh, God. Oh.
We really need to get him a fix for his withdrawals from not having his website anymore that he can go
Oh,
to.
God, thank God.
Yeah. you should be
The guy
thankful
said-
you didn't know him during that
The guy
phase.
He
says,
told
"What
me
kind
about
of
it,
meat
that's
would
enough
you
for me to
like?"
know.
I'll take a 6-inch. Only 6?
This guy.
You know they
I guess
come
if
in
you're married
foot-long,
to Jimmy,
too.
you'd have to have some kind of imagination.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, and you can take that one many ways. Oh my god.
Exactly.
He missed that one.
Yeah, because I was.
She had a good one, and it was a burn on you. Well, it was
Whatever.
more of a
No,
burn
it was
on
a-
Gina.
More burn on Gina. And,
But yeah, I don't know. I just.
She said,
I honestly miss my.
having to be
my
married
younger
with
years.
Gina, you had to have an imagination, and that's why you went to that site.
I missed that site. It was
Now
fucked
think about
up,
that.
but it was cool.
Think about that. You can take that several different ways.
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad she don't watch my show. She don't like me, so she won't watch it.
No, I don't care if she watched anyway.
Yeah. She
Must
got.
not like your
She
Toito.
didn't like me
Hot
even
dogs,
more when she
yeah,
found
that's
out we were related. When she found out that we were related, she didn't even. She liked me even less.
I know.
Really?
That was fucked up. But of course, she really
What are you
loved.
talking?
She really loved Dwayne and Kara.
Oh yeah, she kisses her ass all the time. But you know, you sit there and you think about it though. It was a small world. Here it is. I get done with leukemia, find out that I can't go back to work in security. So I quit my job as security and I go to where my brother's working. And
I think she's having internet problems.
and I had real issues to go to work
I
with
see
my
it.
brother again at any place because my brother and I worked once before at a place called Dalton 77, and it didn't turn out too good for my brother and I. Okay. But anyway, when we were cab drivers, and you've heard this story plenty of time, I went and I became a cab driver at the same company my brother was working. I got the job on my own merit because I knew Madison that well and I had a clean driving record, and that's pretty much, at that time, Union was pretty fucking desperate for drivers.
Yeah.
Alright? Now, Dwayne forgot that I was starting there, and we lived together. Okay, at the time. Dwayne and I were roommates at this time, renting an apartment together.
Yeah.
And I started working on this
They
day.
always got in trouble.
Now remember this, he still hates me for this one. I left one of those phony fucking parking tickets on my brother's
That was
car.
funny.
Dwayne didn't know what I was driving or couldn't see my
So
car.
in other
'cause
words,
I
it would
parked
still be
in a
funny
place
if he
he
did
couldn't-
that to you, but not you to him.
So, no,
Yeah, we
I
were
sat there, I put this ticket on Dwayne's car, and he went through the entire company, but he stuck on blaming Mark, thinking that Mark did it. He's like, motherfucker, I know you did that, just admit to it, you know. He just wanted to find out who did it so that he could get it back, because, you know,
I'm
a
not.
practical joke a practical joke with us three back then could not go, unretaliated to.
Nobody was safe around us.
Okay, if somebody pulled a practical joke on us, we were going to retaliate, and it usually ended up 10 times fold. Sometimes they got out of control. But either way, it was all funny, and nobody really got hurt. But he went around blaming Mark most of this time. He deducted and he swore up and down. He was absolutely positively sure that Mark did it, and Mark was the one that put this ticket on his fucking car, and Mark was going to pay for it. Well, he was reaming Mark out or swearing Mark was doing this, and then all of a sudden he sees me pull up and get out of my cab and come walking in, and I realized what was going on, and unfortunately for me, I couldn't keep a straight face. I started laughing my ass off, and then he realized I was the culprit that put the ticket on his car. But it was fucking funny because he
went all
blamed
day.
him, and I didn't even know Mark yet. I got Mark in trouble before I even knew him.
Go figure.
How's that for fucking funny?
Oh, we'd have.
I
that
mean, it
whole-
wasn't intentional. I had no idea what Dwayne was gonna do.
We'd have the entire fucking cab company put
Oh my God.
their scenes.
I think we had a few of them wanting to piss their pants and having to run to the fucking toilet quick because they were going to piss their pants. Teresta. I mean, I don't know how many times we had Teresta laughing so hard she had tears coming out of her eyes. You know, Kay and Donna.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
anytime we get together and
We
Kay
had
and Donna
those two
was
laughing
around,
so
it didn't
bad.
matter if we were at work or at home because Kay and Donna lived right across the street from him. You know, it was like a whole, you know, we all ended up working at Union, and then all of us lived right here within a block of each other. You know, literally within a block. Less than a block. You know, because Kay and Donna was like right across the street from Mark, and then Dwayne and I were right
directly
around the
across
corner.
street from me.
And we were just around the corner, about 2 houses, 3 houses around the corner.
I'd finish snow blowing my driveway and sidewalk,
And you go over
and
to
I'd
Kay
take
and
and go
Donna's.
right across directly, like
Yeah.
little diagonally, and
They
I'd
almost
do
lined
those.
right up perfectly. Their driveways.
Geez, you guys could have rented or one of you could have gotten a great big van and all could go to work together.
So we'd have these cookouts. Sometimes
Unless
it'd
you
be
work
over at
different
Mark's, sometimes it'd be
Different
over at
shifts.
Kay and Donna, sometimes the cookouts would be over there. But every time we had these cookouts, the 3 of us, Mark, Dwayne, and I, would have everybody in stitches. And then if you added And this was, on occasion, this would happen too after a while.
Woody.
Once you added Woody
God.
into the mix,
Sad.
oh my God. When you added Woody into that mix with
Sad state
us,
of affairs.
literally, I think, I remember some of those camping trips, I remember Donna complaining that for us to stop because she was hurting because she was laughing too hard and her gut was hurting real bad. I'm not kidding you. Kay was in tears, I don't know how many different times from laughing so hard. You know, because we just keep going and it was just like boom, 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 boom. Just, you know.
It got to a point where we could finish each other's sentences.
Were you at that camping trip? Remember the
Now you
camping
just
Not
trip?
insult
Gary,
each other
no.
and call each other fucker.
Huh?
There was only one camping trip I ever went on with you guys, and that was when we went out by Cobb. And I had to actually bring Gina back because she couldn't handle being on the camping trip.
No.
Oh God.
That was the
I would've-
one. Was
I
that the
would've
one?
let
that-
her into
was
the
that the one
forest.
where we got moved to because the site got
No.
flooded and then they moved
No.
and then they moved us.
Was there
in-
a
No,
forest nearby?
that's the one where I crawled out of the fucking tent at 5 o'clock in the morning and the top of my lungs was like, "Good morning!" And everybody's screaming at me, "Shut the fuck up!" and the
He's lucky somebody didn't throw a full can of beer at him too
and
at
the
that hour
fucker, the
because
people.
we were
there's-
probably all drinking the night
There was
before.
a couple of guys. Yeah, we all were. There was a couple of guys in a boat fishing right off the shore, and
Well,
they
you probably
fucking
pissed them off because
they fucking pulled up anchor and left.
Because see, sometimes
Because
the
we
whole,
wanted it peace and quiet. and
sometimes
let
we get the whole
Yeah.
company.
Otherwise, the fish weren't going to come to the
See,
service.
we took camping trips with Union Cab. You know, so it was like
Yeah,
a group
I
of
never
us.
went on a Union Cab.
Oh, you never
camping
went on
trip,
one of
no.
those. Well, we went on one of them, and it was like real bad rain, like we're getting now, you know. And
What's Joe's wife's name?
the
The question of the day.
the campgrounds that we went to, they had two sections. They had like a family section and then like a group party section, right? Well, the group
Well,
party section was
Usually at
flooded.
night,
from the rain.
He thinks his name is God because she's always yelling, "Oh God, oh God, oh God."
No, she's like, Jesus Christ, more, Jesus Christ, more.
Your name's God, remember?
No, I'm Jesus Christ,
I am
he's
God.
That's what I said.
I've got the good beard and the long
That's
hair.
why
I
whenever
can pass
sometimes
it
I say,
off.
"Oh God" or something like that, he goes, "Oh, he's not here.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I'm Jesus Christ. He's not here."
He does the same thing.
Yeah.
He's in Watertown.
She'll say Jesus Christ, and he'll say, "Oh, he's in Watertown." I can call him if you want. I'll get him on the phone. Well, it's better than saying that I'm Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Hey,
said
Charlie,
that
how you
yesterday.
doing?
We were at the store and he called.
Get this. Listen.
We
Get this.
were at the store and what did she ask? She asked something. He goes, "Well, I could say I'm Charles Manson." I go, "No, you don't have a swastika on your head."
Oh,
Yeah, but the girl's reaction, you know. No, I started out. She's like said something. I don't know what she said, and I said, "Hi, I'm Jesus Christ." That's how I started it out.
Oh, this was at the cash store.
Yeah, at the
Yeah,
cash store.
hey, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
because she hadn't seen me before or something.
She's always seen me, and even on weeks that I don't need to go in there, she's always seen me because
So
I
she
pay
didn't
his
see
and
me.
I pay
She's
mine.
like,
So yesterday, the first time
So
that
you're
she's
like Larry
seen him,
Carvalho, and I said, no, I'm Jesus Christ. Huh?
and then he goes, "Oh, I could say I'm
I
Charles
could have
Manson."
yeah, I said I could have really had fun and said I was Charles Manson, but I forgot to put the swastika on my forehead this morning.
Oh, God.
And she cracked up
Yes.
laughing.
Yeah.
Cindy said her husband does her that way too.
You
She
know,
says, "Oh God," and he goes, "Yes, dear."
Oh, you guys all get along well. That's scary.
We gotta have them on the show.
We gotta get him over.
yeah, Cindy and I
We'll
would
have to. We'll make sure that
Cindy and I would have
When they
probably
get
made
here.
it, but the timing was
Sometime
never
during
right.
that month that
we'll
they're
time
here,
it.
we'll
No,
get them here.
we'll time it. We'll set
No,
it
I
up
mean,
properly
like I said,
to where we can have her and her husband here.
she's
and
one of those ones
set it
that
up
If we
while
have to,
get
we'll
out.
move out there.
she held
We'll
the
fix it
she held
somehow.
the grudge from the first time when we broke up.
Better yet, we got until March to
She
get the
held the-
garage cleared out and get the studio set up.
Well,
The
I already
first
talked to
time
my
I
brother
broke
yesterday
up
about the
with
roof.
we broke up with
So.
Cindy. She held the grudge because I was an asshole, and I'll admit it because I was a prick back then.
You are an
Okay.
asshole.
So she probably held a grudge against me for a while.
Because this
But
is a
then,
whole ass.
when I was in the hospital and I
Can
thought
you-
I was
hey,
going to die with
hey,
leukemia,
hey, hey.
that's when I wrote the letter and I was apologizing for being
Just-
an
hey,
asshole.
I
Yeah.
cannot wait to come back home. You guys are hilarious, but I gotta fly for now. Love you guys.
All right, we'll see you later. We're
Take
running
care.
anyway.
Be safe. Be safe.
Stay tuned.
We're already an hour and 20 in.
I would have.
More for next time.
Cindy and I probably would have worked out, but it was the timing was never right. See, here's what happened. You know, after the leukemia, and I wrote that letter to her apologizing for being the asshole because, you know, when we broke up the first time, it wasn't too pleasant. You know, I was young, naive, stupid, and had that jealous streak in me. You know, so it was one of those things that got in the way.
You're just a normal
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, but
He's not
I
normal.
should have known better
He's
about.
not a normal asshole.
You know,
When he opens
not
his
an asshole,
mouth,
Jesus
he's got
Christ.
diarrhea.
I treated Cindy like any other girlfriend I had back then. You know, like oh, you know, the real, you know, like a queen type thing. You know, all the dating
You treated her
stuff.
with respect.
Yeah, lots of it, all the time, and but I also
It's warm
defended
here
her
because-
honor and all of this because
That's what she meant by he loved me too much.
I also defended
She
her
couldn't
honor and all of
handle
this. I defended her honor and all of this stuff and stuff like this. Well, she was supposed to come to my graduation or something like this, and
It looks like she's still.
showed up with a guy that had a Trans Am and stuff like this, and I got pissy and I threw a fit and I started calling her, and yeah, it blew up in my face and so on and so forth. And then
Well,
yeah,
being
there
like
was a
that,
time
it
I
should
s-
have blew up in your face.
and then there was a time I saw her again, but it was also right around the time that just before I met Brenda. And I think she was trying to give me hints because she didn't want to marry the guy that she was with at the
She
time.
wanted you to stop the wedding.
Yeah, it wasn't to do it, but I wasn't going to take the hints and stuff like that or whatever, but we hung out for a while and stuff because we clicked. We still got along even after all those years. But then when I got the leukemia and stuff like that, I wrote those letters, you know, apologizing for being such a prick and all of that, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden she's responding. But I had no idea where to send them to, so I sent them, you know, with her name on it, Cindy Carrier, in care of her father, and I looked up the address in the phone book.
So what you wrote? Can you read that? You need your glasses?
Oh, but, you know, we had something special there. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand that. You know, yeah, it was real, I mean, I wish circumstances were different that I ran into her when she was at hospice and stuff like that, but her mom was in pretty bad shape.
Your mom was.
My mom wasn't doing the greatest either, but we were there to see Charlene, who happened to pass away shortly thereafter. But, you know, it was nice seeing her all and stuff like that. It brings up some of those cool, fun memories because those were fond memories, and I don't want to forget them because that part of high school was my favorite part of high school, was when I was with her.
You know, I don't, honestly, I think a lot of people
You know, and I'm glad she found
kind of
her.
look back on their lives and wish that they could change things, but
I'm glad that Cindy
You gotta
found
realize-
her nick in life and has gotten to be super happy now, you know. And,
Right.
And,
No,
and,
yeah,
and I'm
I
glad
get that.
I got the chance to know her before that,
I get that. But
because she was a very special person in my life.
what
at
I'm
the time.
saying though is I think most everyone actually does some reflecting on their lives and
I
wish
did it.
that they could change things. But the thing you got to realize that if you ever did go back and change anything,
You know,
It's like the what if.
you may not
Yeah,
wind up being the person you are
Yeah,
today
and you
because
might not
of
be
the
happy
changes that
as-
were made.
it's like that Destiny movie. You thought he would be happy.
Things are meant to be the way they are.
Right, and then he realized that he wasn't because she was cheating on him and all of this, and he ended up miserable and wanting the old girl, the old wife back and all of that. What, you know, I get that, but now you do reflect on it, and you do try to, Here's the thing. This is that song, like, and I started. This is the thing about kids and not understanding this until you've been there. And I wish nobody would ever get that far or ever have to be there. But if you ever get to that point where you end up having to face death in the face to face, You don't understand what it does to you and how it changes you and the reflections you make on your past and how you can improve by realizing what your mistakes were back then.
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
see, that's part of life.
What
man.
are you making those faces
Here.
about?
Read. It's right there. I'm getting some of what she's getting over there.
Actually, you're probably getting everything. It's just coming in slower.
No,
Yeah.
actually, I'm not getting everything. So
Yeah,
that's kinda
see,
weird.
I had, like I said, see, the thing, the timing never worked out with us, and back then when we were going strong in high school, I was young, naive, and stupid, and that jealousy monster was my worst enemy,
Yeah.
and it destroyed us.
Jealousy,
You know.
jealousy monster is red-eyed. Money monster is green-eyed.
Well, whatever, it destroyed us,
I know.
and it wasn't her
But I'm
fault,
saying,
it was my fault.
it's just that it's like I said, okay. And, you know, I think everyone truly looks back sometimes. You know, sits and reflects back on
But see,
the way their life was
all
and
of
wishes they could make those changes. But
all
the
of that
thing
stuff-
is, you have to realize at that point, you have to really look at it and say, hey, if there was a possibility of making those changes,
yeah, I'm not sure
what's
I'd
to
want
say
to.
I would be the person I am today?
I mean, it'd be
What's
nice,
to say
but
what you would have what you have today?
I'd still
Exactly.
want, I'd
What's
still,
to say I wouldn't
or-
be worse off? What's to say, you know,
or if you would be
those
with
are
who
just
you are.
chances. Those
Yeah,
are chances
but
that you'd have to take.
it's
at
the
that
bitch
point.
about, you know what the bitch
But-
about it all is? Having to think about those what ifs all the time sometimes.
But you don't
Especially when
need to
get,
think about those
but
what
you do
ifs.
when you get down and out.
Understandable, but you
You
really
got
don't.
depression issues,
need-
don't you?
No. She doesn't have that big of depression issues.
Yeah, but you've been in that thing thinking, what if I could have done this? What if I could have
Oh, yeah.
done
Oh,
that?
yeah.
See?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
Oh, yeah.
does.
Everybody
You
goes
still
through
dwell
that.
on your past every now and then.
Especially with the guy
Well,
that
you
I
know,
lived with. Yeah.
When you got nothing but time on your hands, that's all you do. And when I'm sitting there in a
Actually, two of the
hospital
guys
and that's all I had for 2 years, and I'm thinking I'm not going to make it through that, that's all I did was contemplate what ifs.
One guy I lived with was a narcissist. The other guy was
You know,
was a
I
woman
went-
abuser.
Here's the
So
other
yeah,
thing.
I have my what ifs.
Then you learn those, and then when you learn some pretty tough lessons too. And unfortunately, it hurts more than just you when you learn these tough lessons. And I'm gonna give you this example, and somebody will back me up, but I doubt she's still listening. But I'm sure she'll make a
I
comment
don't
on
see
it
her
if she
on here.
watches the rest of
I
it.
mean,
I think she had to go.
She
Yeah.
had to fly, but,
But anyway, after the leukemia, and I got to that point where I could start doing more, and I was arguing
She's
with
still on.
my mom was trying to coddle me, baby me, because she was always afraid that I was going to get sick if I went out on my own, or I was going to get hurt, or I wasn't going to make it back, or something like this. Well, she was living out by Allied Thurston.
yeah.
You know where Thurston is, right?
Uh,
Out off Allied Drive
yeah.
area, you know, the neighborhood. So anyway, she was living out there, so I moved in with Cindy for a while out there, right? My
yeah, I
birth,
see you're still on.
my birthday came around, right? And because my dad's birthday and April's birthday were also in March, okay, they were having like a one birthday party for all three of us at my dad's house in McFarland. I didn't have my driver's license back yet, so Dwayne and Kara were sent to come and get me, okay? But I couldn't bring Cindy with me. I ended up going anyways, but I put up a big fight and was crying and everything, and you know why? You want to know why they didn't want Cindy there? And that's who I was trying to
It's
be
a bull-
with
it
at
is-
the time.
And it's a bullshit reason.
When I got to my dad's house, Brenda was there. They thought that inviting Brenda was the only way that they could get Ashley there, but Brenda and I got along well enough where Brenda would have allowed me to pick up Ashley with Dwayne and Kara
Yeah.
that day. You know. But I'll never forget that. And after that, I
I've got it right
started.
here on the screen.
I started sitting there thinking about that stuff, and the more that ate at me and stuff like this and stuff like that, and further down the road, a few years later, I was no longer with Cindy anymore, but she comes along. That's when Dwayne and them thought that she was trying to come out and just be with me for the money. But at the
What
time, she was making more money than I got off my Social Security.
What money?
Right, exactly. Anyway, you know what I did that night? Because Dwayne almost beat the shit out of me. I took her and I left. She thought I was just going to make her leave or take her home and come back. We went and spent the night, a couple of nights in a fucking hotel. And I didn't tell anybody where the fuck we were going either.
Could have came over to my house. I would have put you in the basement and left you alone.
Oh, that was a bad night. Anyway,
Okay, she's still on.
Yeah, I noticed.
I thought you had to go.
Well, we got talking about some other stuff here,
Yeah.
and
And she
she's
wanted
got
this
an
because
interest
it was
in
part,
it.
it was part of her, you know, her past
She's
too.
part of
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, I'm just kind of actually the way I feel a lot of times. It's like I'm a bystander watching things go by because of the fact that
you know,
I'm not originally from Wisconsin.
and you know what? I've said stuff like that. I remember, yeah, I do remember all of that. I just kept it, I was, you know, kind of remembered that
You
stuff.
may not be originally from Wisconsin, but you're still part
But-
of our.
When I was talking about reflecting on my life, remember I've talked about this before, how I, like in a hospital, I was reflecting on all these past
Yeah.
relationships. And it's like, okay, I was only there long
bet you
enough
got it
until,
crying.
I was only there with this person long enough until I was needed, you know, until I fixed whatever was broken or helped them get past what they needed to get past. And once I did what I needed to do for them,
You moved
they
on.
moved on and didn't need
It
me
was like you
anymore.
were an angel in their life at that time.
Right.
He was a fixer.
No, it was more like I
He's
was
Michael
kind of like,
Cohen.
you know, I kind of felt like Michael Landon in Highway to Heaven coming around, you know, because these relationships, yeah.
You were there for the person
My
when they needed
my
you
brother
the most.
and them
Yep.
might have been thinking, yeah, he's a womanizer and stuff, but as I look back on it, when I had a lot of these women that I met, at some point in their life when I met them, when I first met them, they were broken. But by the time I left them, they were a lot stronger and so on and so forth, and they were going to make it on their own a lot better. You know, it's like I was helped because of all the shit that I've
You
been
were their
through.
guardian angel, Joe.
Because of all the shit
Yep.
that I went through, I was able to understand
you
a
were
lot
there
of
at
this
a
stuff
certain
that most
time in their
people
life
wouldn't
and they
have
needed you
understood.
either.
So I came around at the right time in their life, like helping Kelly, my
With
ex-wife
Jasmine.
Kelly, with Jasmine and getting her
Jasmine
properly
figuring that out.
diagnosed because she was misdiagnosed.
Even
She
though it
was
didn't
actually
happen till after they split
autistic,
up.
but they
it
had
made
her on
realize.
ADHD meds, but she was autistic.
Yeah.
And then after Kelly finally did what I told her to, because you had to get her detoxed, re-diagnosed, and they did that and put her on the proper meds, that child is a total different child. Today she's got her driver's license, she's a functioning autistic. You know, she's got a driver's
She's not-
license, she's got
she
all
is
this
autistic.
stuff.
She's
and
slightly
She's a functional-
autistic.
she's a functional autistic is what she is. And as long as she keeps taking her medicine,
And she
She-
stays on a routine.
but see, before that, because she was misdiagnosed and
Fuck
put
up
on
her
the
routine
wrong
and that's gonna mess
medication,
Yeah.
everything up.
she was like a child from hell, and she went from the child from hell to this total opposite, polar opposite.
Yeah, because we seen her after that.
Oh yeah,
And she was completely different than what I was ever told.
you know.
Yep.
But I mean, that's just it. I was there long enough for that to happen, and once I was done and didn't need it anymore, I was, you know, kind of thrown out like yesterday's trash. But it was just time for me to move on to the next person that needed me.
You were part of their journey.
Like Bev, when I met Bev in Centerville, Iowa, but I was talking to her online, and she was going in for some, and this brings up what's happening to me Tuesday, but she was going in for some major heart surgery, like open heart surgery,
Yeah.
okay, and she was like terrified, okay, and her kids were like just being total pricks. They're all adults, but they weren't really, you know,
You weren't there for
they weren't supporting her for this operation, and she was terrified, and she had no one. So, because I didn't work and stuff like this, I hopped in my car the day before, that early morning, the day before, and I drove the 6.5 hours, 320 miles, to meet her for the first time, and I spent that very next day in that hospital waiting room, so that when she came out and she went to her private room, and when she woke up, I was right there and she wasn't alone. So now, here's where that nice nice Italian lady, now that I wasn't needed anymore and after a while, but she, before we broke up, she returned that favor, okay? My dad died during that time, one of my visits down there. He was passing away on my way back, and I was getting phone call after phone call, you better hurry up, he ain't got much time left. But he was already in a coma to begin with.
Yeah.
I got back here, he passed away, and I was telling Bev that he passed away and all of this, and how I was going to be alone at the funeral, and, you know, all of the shit's going on with Barb because I'm fighting for custody of Ashley and all of this because Brenda was already gone. And lo and behold, that morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a call from Madison that she was in town and she just didn't know how to get to where I was, so I went all the way out there on Verona Road and picked her up and had her follow me. So she came into Madison so that I didn't have to be at my dad's funeral alone that day.
You know, this one's kind of funny. This one's more like us being,
Reminiscing.
no, this is more like us being, I had the word to, therapists.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, so, and the more I looked on it, the more I looked back on it when I was in the hospital and after that, because I tend to do
Telling our
that.
stories and let everybody else hear.
I keep finding those similarities in everybody. Brenda needed a backbone to stand up to her mom, and she had that, almost. She was starting to say no to Barb quite a bit. That's why Barb hated me so
Now she's
bad.
going to ask you, I'll tell you what Tanya's going to ask you now. She's going to ask you what was about her was broken.
She had no self-confidence. She didn't have any self-confidence about herself. She probably wouldn't have gone to school and
But
gotten
what
those
was
degrees.
different about me that we stayed together?
Because you're a lot like somebody else. And I
took her
told you, I
place?
told you.
You're a lot like
You're
Brenda.
you're more
You are.
you're not somebody that I was supposed to just help. You were like my reward for all the crap that I've been through.
And you know, in a way,
Because you were also my good luck charm, because, you know, that 4 years after you, I went a trip to a place that I've always wanted to go. Got to go on a plane for the first time in my entire life, and I get to go to Las Vegas. I may not have gotten to do what I wanted to do in Vegas, but I sure the hell had a lot of fun, and I put up with a lot of fucking pain to be there, and it was all fucking worth it.
Yep.
Especially the day that we
You
left.
know, and then I
That
came
was
back,
fucking
and
funny
I
as
came
hell.
back with somebody pretty strong in my corner, so I knew things were going to be all right. And I also came back saying, "Yep, I'm going to have that apartment too." And I got us rushed to get those apartments so we could get
Actually,
out of
we knew you had that before we left.
Yeah, but we got the date moved up quite a bit,
Got the date moved up,
so
and because we got married, I was able to stay there with you.
you know.
yeah.
So, I mean, everything worked out. It was kind of like it was meant to be that way. It's like Brenda helped me find Tanya, because
Everybody's-
Tanya was a lot like Tanya's a lot like Brenda without the fact that Tanya's family don't hate me like Brenda's family hates me,
Whoa.
you know. But then you have weird shit.
About Roslyn Cemetery?
No.
Roslyn? Alright, I
There's
didn't get
one,
next
there's
one.
one after it.
I
You
didn't get
better
that.
ask your husband what he wants because the bullshit is getting real thick.
Whatever.
I always know what my husband wants.
You know.
Well, you know, you're not
So,
the only one that
let's
fixes
see,
people.
her mom don't hate me. I get along with her brothers real well.
Mark's
You know.
everybody's daddy.
I get along with Mike better though, most of the time. But Mike's kind of a quiet person. You know, he's a family man.
During all the time that Gina and I were together,
He's a family man and a
Kayla growing
grandpa.
up, Kayla has a tendency of picking up strays. Most of her friends,
Oh, yeah.
they don't have dads or they don't have moms or from broken
Yeah, I
families.
remember a lot of those strays.
And how many
That's how
times?
Kayla is,
How many times was it that they'd come over
Mark,
and they'd call me dad?
I don't know, I've known you, God, I don't even want to think about how long I've known you, 20 something years, so 20
Too long.
plus years. But anyway, in that 20 plus years,
Oh.
I've known you well enough where I've threatened to feed your daughter to a fish tank that my brother had in his living room, great big huge one.
This is.
But I've watched all of these strays that he let his dog, and we're not talking stray cats or stray dogs. We're talking stray kids. No, stray
children.
kids.
Children that
Her
have
age.
issues,
Or a little, you know,
age,
right around her age.
and like they wouldn't have, you know, their dad would be not.
And
in
they'd
their
be
lives
over there, and
something
they'd be
like
calling Mark Dad all the time. You know,
that. And I would always.
what are
be
you
there for
cooking?
them.
Hey Dad, what are you cooking out today? Or hey Dad, what's for dinner? And he's feeding these strays.
Yeah.
And Kayla keeps, and some of them got pretty fucking
Oh,
weird
Sean!
too.
Hi, Sean.
Some of them got
He
pretty
made it.
fucking weird. You know.
Yeah, we're running over.
Yeah.
We're having a reminisce show.
But high school was one of my favorite times. I mean, I had a lot of fun in high school, and Cindy was there to see and witness most of it. You know,
Yeah.
there was more good times than bad times in that relationship. You know, by far.
That's a good thing.
You know, most of my relationships
Now
never
I'm down
ended.
to one viewer, two viewers.
Never really ended in a bad way either. So.
They're back and forth over here.
You know, and I always thought that was a good thing. People would get jealous. Nina didn't like that. Nina hated that.
Well, see, that's the stupid thing, you know.
Nina hated the fact that I had more women friends than I had men friends, and most of the women friends that I had, I slept with at one time or another because I was in a relationship.
Well,
with them.
I wasn't that into that, but I think that's some of what Gina's problem was, because I made friends with women a lot easier than I did
Oh, yeah.
guys. And most of the women that I made friends with, they had issues in their lives. They had problems. And I would always talk it through with them, and I'd always try to help them if I could,
That's like Angie.
you know?
When I,
And I think that got under Gina's skin. I think that was part of the reason of her doing what she did.
there was this one, and this story.
She just couldn't understand that I cared enough
Yeah.
about other people and their feelings to try and help them as much as I could.
And when you've got the experience to be able to
There's a
help
word for
because
that.
you've been through that shit and you know how
Yeah,
to survive.
jealousy.
And when you know how to survive,
Insecurity.
but when you've also been through
But
some
there
of
shouldn't
that
have been
shit,
any insecurity because I always proved myself.
well,
I
if you
always.
can prove that you're loyal, what the fuck difference should it make? You know what I'm saying? I mean, here, you know, some of these, they start talking to you because they realize, okay, there's sometimes it's just something about you that they realize, and then they start opening up. But in my case, not only did that happen, but see, sometimes the things that they talked about, I've already been through, and I knew how to survive some of that shit. I've been through so much shit, and I know you love this one. He's gonna love this. I'm not gonna hear the end of this. I've got papers to prove this, and I'm not gonna bring them out
He's
ever because
clinically
I don't want
insane.
anybody to read them all. But I had to go through one of these big psychiatric evaluations. I don't know how many. It was after the leukemia thing. It was kind of something I had to go through. It was for
He's clinically insane.
It was for Social Security.
Well, if it's
Well, anyway,
He's a therapist.
That therapist guy that was talking to me and evaluating me for all of this and made that fucking
You know, if
report.
they was to
You know what
finally
he
do
called
that to
me? Do you want to know what he called me? Do you know what he called me?
I know, you told me this before,
A
jackass.
psychiatrist's wet dream. Because I've survived more stuff and I'm still alive to talk about it.
Okay.
Where most people that's been through half the shit that I would have been through would have offed themselves or been dead or something by now, or in a psycho, mental
But
hospital with a breakdown
You
or
put a
something.
gun. You put a gun to your head and pull that trigger. That's taking the coward's way out.
So,
That's being a
I
coward.
got too much to
You
live
stay
for.
here,
Wow.
you work through it, and
I told
you
you.
come out a better
I
person.
told
Yeah,
you.
you do.
I told you, I'm not done here yet. I'm immortal. I'm gonna be around for fucking ever. So get used to it. You're stuck with me, assholes.
Mark,
Shut
So
the
you
fuck
were
up.
classified and certified a nutbag? Got it.
So,
Yeah,
He's a Twinkie.
we call him Twinkie anyway.
So anyway, now I was stuck in a guard shack. You might have heard this one too. I was stuck in a guard shack
Heard a lot of them.
on Christmas
Alright.
Eve, and it was at Menards. I was working security for Menards out on the west side, and I was stuck in a guard shack. Christmas Eve, so it was pretty fucking boring at Menards on Christmas Eve. Snow's coming down like a motherfucker everywhere, and all of a sudden, because it was so quiet and so fucking boring, the other security officer that I was working with started talking to me more, but it got to be one of these very personal conversations. Come to find out, she'd been abused in a really bad way, and I understood what she went through and so on and so forth, and by the time that was all over, she was trying to figure out how I knew all of this stuff, so I ended up telling my side of things and why I could relate to what she was saying. And the weird part about that is I ended up dating her for a while. The worst part about that is, I ain't gonna say that on here in case.
Are we like off the air now or something?
The worst part
No
about
way.
that is that as I was dating her
Because
and
it
had a
says
thing for her,
here that we
my brother
is
made
live.
a move on her.
Oh, never mind. That is Sean.
Dwayne broke the bro code with that one because he made a move on her.
That's one thing that's good at working at Menards is you always got a Woody. Get it? LOL.
Yep.
You can always get a Woody.
Yeah, but that's
But
also.
no,
So yeah, that's when I was working uniformed for them there. Usually, you know, I was
Does she know
supposed to.
Woody?
most of them are plain
Friend
clothes
Woody?
and they're
Cindy?
Menards.
No.
No.
Cindy, I knew in high school,
Oh.
and then I knew for a
Where did Woody go to school
and then I ran into her for a short time after that, and then again after the leukemia.
Woody from Madison area?
And
No,
Woody's from
Woody's
Stoughton.
Stoughton. Oh.
And
He probably went to high school down there.
Woody I met when I was a kid when in Stoughton and didn't realize it right away until we started talking, you know, swapping stories and stuff
Woody
like
picked on
this.
him.
And I realized when he told one of his stories and he was talking about the other kid that he confronted on Main Street in Stoughton, that I was the other person that he confronted that day. Yeah, this was in the garage when we saw the blue moon that inspired my tattoo and all of this, and we were singing that song.
And
I'm
what
fucking
happened
40.
from there?
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, Woody and I have been good friends, but
Yeah.
Woody, I knew Woody when I got reacquainted with Cindy after the leukemia. Okay. Because Woody was up there almost every day when I had the leukemia,
I
and
was
if he
born
couldn't
and
make it
raised
up
a
there,
cheesehead.
he was on the fucking phone.
I'm proud of it.
I don't think Cindy ever got the opportunity to meet Woody back then, because he was a pretty busy person and had a rough life because he was still married to Nikki.
No.
You know, and those two didn't go together and mix too well together.
It's like oil and vinegar.
Yeah, they were a bad
water.
combination. Their jealousies were real, yeah, explosive. They had an explosive relationship.
If they could both get over their jealousies, it probably would have worked.
Somebody always got hurt when they got into fights, and there was always a trip to the hospital.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's like with me and Gina, you know.
But now,
I was loyal to her, but yet
now you look at Woody and the person he's with, even though she's my cousin, kinda, sorta.
she'll keep
She-
me in mind, though.
She is a perfect person and perfect fit for Woody. I see that going a long fucking way.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
You know,
Even though there is an age
she's,
difference.
but she's one that he won't get jealous off of, because he can trust her, and he knows that for sure. She doesn't
That's a good thing.
play these little games and doesn't give
Like
him
his
a
last
reason not to
wife?
trust her.
Like his last wife?
She tells
Oh,
him
God,
everything
she
and
was a
knows,
trip.
That was
you
a
know,
mistake.
Yes, that
That was
was.
a huge mistake.
you know,
From the beginning.
Nina
She's
is such a
basically in it for his
wonderful
money.
person that
That's
I
all
am
she
so
knows.
happy for both of them for that,
Yeah.
for getting together. You know, yeah, I made fun about it because of the age difference between the two. But you know, sometimes that's what it takes to keep somebody like Woody in line
And he loves that little girl.
and out of trouble.
That little
you know.
girl is wrapped around his little pinky.
Because if Woody
Seems
ever,
like it.
Good.
if he ever,
She'll keep him in line.
you know, there are certain things that can make him fall off the wagon, and if he ever falls off the wagon, it's not going to be pretty.
You know, if he falls off the wagon this time, it may never.
We may never be able
we
to
may
save
never-
him.
Yeah, we may never be able to get to.
Especially
get
if
through
she
to him again.
isn't there for him.
But no, that was kind of, you know, with
But I don't
things
think
that
that's
I
going to
was-
happen because of Nina.
He pauses, I start talking, he starts
sorry.
talking over me
I was
again.
taking a sip of my
Yeah, he yelled at me this week for that.
But you know, and that's, like I said, I think that's kind of what happened with Gina, why she did the things that she did and just made the stupid decisions that she made, is because she was jealous. You know, I was able to talk to women better than I could guys in the first place, and I've always been that.
Well, you got no problem talking to me though.
You're different.
Well, that's because you're a bitch.
No, that's
Anyway.
because we're more like brothers.
Anyway, you know, and a lot of the women that I made friends with, they all had issues too, and they needed somebody to talk to.
And most of the time you could relate with their issues.
Yeah, most
So
of
you
a
can
lot
help
of
them
times I
solve it
could,
and so
and I wound up doing.
And that's why you were such a good
And a
friend to
lot
help
of
them
them, but a
survive
lot
it.
of them
and-
also wanted more from me, and I could not provide
Well,
it.
I did that though too.
But I could not. That's
Yeah,
that
I
was
know you were
that's
loyal
wrong
to
of
you
me.
were loyal to a fault.
That's
To
where
do
he drew
something
the
like
line.
that,
Yeah, I
to
know.
do something like that would be wrong of me to do.
I had no morals. back
I
then
can't
on
do
that.
something like that.
You know.
Even for Gina.
Well, today I'm a different person, see, but back then I was an asshole. I was a prick.
And I was like, okay, I really gotta go. You guys have
You know,
been fun, love you.
I
Yeah, see you next
I
Saturday,
wasn't
and
the
I'll
nicest
hit
person in the
you up
world
when I
sometimes.
come to
You know.
Wisconsin in March. Good. We expect you to hit us up when you come here, because we want to all get together and either cook out or go
Yeah.
out to dinner, and then we'll have you and your husband on our show.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah. I'll
need to wrap
be
this up
making
before I
I'll be sending you a
combust.
message when it gets close to find out when you're coming for sure.
Maybe by then we'll have the garage cleared out and have a
Don't count on it.
I don't know.
The way
Maybe.
things go around here sometimes, I don't know.
I guess I could push everything out on the lawn.
We have to clean that lawn
Unless
first.
we can get it, unless I can get after my brother, get the stuff, and we can get the stuff done that we need
We have
get
to
done.
clean out
You know what? My car needs to be fixed first, damn it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Let's not get into that now.
So don't get me started on that.
But yeah, it'd be good times. I mean, we could really reminisce, and she could really get on my case and keep me in my place, I guess. Oh, she
All
won't.
right, fine.
Cindy won't think twice about things like
It's only
that.
gonna be her.
She says she flies solo when she comes out here like that.
Her
Oh.
husband never comes with her.
Oh.
Well,
It's
we
all right.
have to get together.
You gotta
That's
bring me.
okay.
Come on.
It's always my
Make an
time, so I'll be
exception.
solo. In other words, this is her time away from him.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no.
It's like a
Make an
vacation.
exception. Joe and I will kidnap him, and you can have your time.
She probably gets her alone time with her dad and her sister and stuff that way.
Well,
That's
that's
okay.
the thing.
Can
We
still
can
hang out with
kidnap him and keep him around with us, and she can have her alone time.
Oh my
I'd
god!
like to meet him.
I haven't met him either.
I'd like to meet her. I've never met her.
Because when we saw her, that time you and I saw her at
It was only
hospice,
her.
it was just her and her dad.
We need to wrap
Walking
this
through
up
there.
before I combust.
I recognized him right
Yeah,
away and her
It's
too.
almost
we're already
2
going into
hours.
2 hours, so. Well,
That was
this
kind of
one-
like
this
seeing
one
a
has
ghost
been,
that day.
this one has been the Mark and Joe therapy show.
No, it's utterly insane.
Oh, utterly insane. with
Stray
Mark and
jackets,
Joe
stray jackets
therapy
are always
show.
on standby.
Yeah.
So we have, we'll have.
Yeah,
we'll have
utterly
stray
insane
jackets.
where the stray jackets are always on standby. I like that.
You know, in
You
a
like
way,
that? I like that. We
Yeah,
like it doing
in
that.
a way, this has kind of turned out to be a therapy show.
Okay, so we're gonna
It's
call it
kinda
a therapy
interesting.
show.
It is. It's interesting. You know, we
Outside.
talked about our issues and others who can
It
relate.
was fun having her participate too. It was
Yeah,
real
it's
fun
very
having you
much- very much
participate,
so.
Cindy. Having some good reminiscing there. There's a lot more though. Oh boy, could we go a lot more in some of that.
Her husband is more conservative. Too conservative. He would dare never ever be like her.
Oh,
Conservative.
really?
Yeah.
As the military did him that way.
Yeah.
That's part of being a career military person. You know, when you put in 20 plus years like that into the military service. Yeah,
Yes, definitely. Log on next Saturday and say hi and stick
It's-
around with us.
Conservative or not, tell them
gonna-
thank you for his service.
It's gonna change you, you
I
know,
already said
because they got strict rules.
All
So
right.
stuff's gonna change you.
Well, I think we're done with this one. We
Yeah,
gotta
we're gonna wrap
this
this
up.
I'm getting a little
Remember,
warm and
remember, we've
Yeah,
got our
spring.
website, Utterly Insane.
MJ.com.
Utterly Insane MJ.com. And we
you buy
actually
through
do
Am-
have a phone number.
Well, you gotta
know,
give that at the beginning of the show. We
we
keep
can always
forgetting to do
have.
that.
Hey, it's not my fault. And then, then we got affiliates, which
beginning
is
and the
Amazon.
Yeah, so if you buy
So if you
anything,
get anything from Amazon, you can go to our website,
So
click
we
on
can
the
get-
Amazon tab, go in there, and then search for what you want. And then whenever you purchase it through Amazon, it kind of gives us a kickback.
yeah, we
And
get a
then we
little
also
kickback.
have Geek Buying. That's another one.
Yeah, they,
Geekbuying.com.
they have a lot of cell
And-
phones and a lot of personal electronic items on their website at very good prices. I checked them out and did a little research on them before joining
Before
the
you-
affiliate because I don't want to give you the viewers and stuff like this something that I don't believe in, you know, like that. So it's not a scam or anything, but they got some better deals that you could probably find.
That's fine. I gotta find
like
where I
if
can
you,
get a
if you want one of
a
those
case for that.
smartphones,
I gotta find where I can get a case
and you're
case for
not,
that hard drive so I can turn it into
yeah, you might be able to find that on
a
there.
jumper drive, and then I got 2 standard IED hard drives. I need
Right.
to get a reader that I can hook up to the computer
Right,
too.
but,
So.
but this is like more like refurbished cell phones and stuff like that,
Okay.
you know.
So anyway,
So,
thank
anyway.
you for watching us.
And stay tuned. We don't know what our topic's gonna be next Saturday.
Remember, you can find us on Facebook. You can like us there. You can share the
Tell
video
your
with
friends.
everybody. You can, you know,
And come back next Saturday to watch us live.
YouTube's the same way. And we do this show every Saturday.
Same
live,
Facebook time,
5
same
o'clock.
Facebook channel.
Yeah.
Channel.
Yeah.
So thank you again for watching. This has been Utterly Insane with Mark and Joe. And this was our therapy show.
Yeah, therapy show. I
See
like
you next
that.
week.
Later, and we're out of here. She's just got to turn that one off. That was funny. Boy, she participated.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.